welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is James Pietragallo. This is my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
And we are very excited to be with you today. I want to thank everybody. First of all, a few people we want to thank in particular.
Yeah.
We'll just use their Twitter handles, make it easy, because
Yeah.
that's what they're kind of going on, that have just been really trying to get us out there on Twitter, and we thank you guys so much. A guy, J.A. Mason 14, you've been loving our stuff and
awesome.
putting it out. Thank you so much.
Is that the soldier?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you for that, too. And at
Thanks
King,
for your service.
That, too. At King Eric, 1980, you've been cool. At Spartan Blues, thank you. At Boris Ranting, we love you, dude.
He's a UK guy, right?
Yeah,
that's
from
the guy
Australia.
that's like on TV.
He's
he?
from
Oh,
Australia.
yeah, from Australia.
Love
living
that
in
guy.
the UK,
Thank you so much. And want a special thank you to the Red Card podcast there, at Red Card Live.
Yeah.
Another UK soccer podcast, and they've been loving us. And dude, your stuff is great too. If you like us, if you're into soccer or even not, and you're just like a mean-spirited kind of slant on sports, you'll have a good time with him. So give him a shot too.
And that Jay Wellesley, she's terrific
And,
too.
thank you. And all our usual,
She's a sweetheart.
All our usual
Everybody.
Wed
You
Better
guys
story, Sean, all these guys.
Busby.
Busby, special thank you. Busby sent us,
son of a bitch.
the guy who sent us beers at our comedy show from Australia to Phoenix. Jimmie just received it in the mail. It's a figure of Jason Williams in the box.
He said, in the spirit of Bruno de Souza,
Yeah.
I would like to have Frankie have this as a dog toy.
Yeah, so
like chewing up a body.
So Frankie the Crime and Sports dog is going to chew up Jason Williams a little, and we're going to give you some before and after pictures. We'll show you Frankie enjoying him, and that's pretty funny stuff. So also, thank you guys for new iTunes reviews. All you new listeners out there, old listeners, if you haven't done an iTunes review yet, please, please, please do the iTunes review. We beg of you guys.
Yeah.
We beg of you guys. It helps us so much. I know it takes 30 seconds. I know it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm the same way with podcasts. I'm like, but if I really love one, I'll throw down with it. So please do that. Also,
There's a lot of people right now going, do I really love them?
Yeah, if you like us, 5 stars, following instructions, as we say, or following directions or whatever, give us a little nice word. It helps us so much. It's so invaluable. I can't even tell you guys.
The amount of listens have ticked up. We've more than doubled in the past 5 weeks, and I can't thank you guys enough.
2 weeks. It's been crazy.
It's been insane.
Thank you guys, and also too, there's a Patreon page, Patreon/Crime and Sports. But you give us a few bucks if you want. But iTunes reviews are free. We really don't want your money. We just want you to enjoy the show. We want sponsors' money. Yeah. That's what we're looking for. Yeah. So that's what the iTunes reviews help with. They get us noticed.
Right.
Then we get sponsors, and then we can do cool stuff and buy Frankie real dog toys instead of Jason Williams action figures, which is great. And also, I could use health insurance. So let's get on that, guys.
I half expected like ears, like people-shaped body parts when he said in the spirit of Bruno de Souza, and then this thing shows up. It's pretty
wallaby corpse or something. So let us get into this.
First
of all, too, I hope you guys enjoyed Ben Kramer and I guess Randy Lanier and Don Aronow and all that whole thing.
Everybody
that was
involved.
a wild little adventure we went on last week. This week is just as equal of a wild adventure. Just as much. It's awesome. This story is crazy. It's a guy named Willie Mays Aikens.
All right.
Now, he's a baseball player. He's got Willie Mays in his name, which is hilarious. He's not related to Willie Mays at all, as we'll get into here. Willie Mays Aikens, this guy led quite the life. Let's get into him quick here because it's a crazy story. The note cards are thick, like
so deep.
Fucking War and Peace
like
today. So we want to get through it.
Like the Bible.
Not keep you guys for like 4 hours or make this a 5-parter or anything. So let's get into it. Willie Mays Aikens. He was born October 14th, 1954.
All right.
He's from Seneca, South Carolina.
Oh.
The area he is from, I cannot overstate the poorness of this area. It's incredibly poor. It is South, like, imagine pre-civil rights and even after civil rights. It's like he went to segregated schools.
Really?
Till he was 12. You know what I mean? All the sports teams were segregated till he was. I mean, it's that kind of area. It's poor. These people lived like sharecroppers. They were like, they give like Eddie Johnson and Keith Wright runs for their money as far as shit childhoods and shit environments.
And the boxer that
and Tommy Morrison. He was. This is kind of like the black equivalent to Tommy Morrison, like in the South rather than the Midwest.
What does Dad do?
Park. He has no idea because he never met his father, Willie Mays Aikens. Never knew him, never knew who he was, never met him. at all.
Here's where it is. You abandon the little fucker. It's gonna ruin his life.
Oh yeah. Oh, but don't worry, Jimmy. He did have a completely amazingly abusive alcoholic stepfather, though, that stepped right in there.
Perfect.
And took over for him.
Picked up where everybody left off.
Beat the shit out of everybody in sight. The kids, the sister, the brother, the mom, the grandmother. He's smacking everybody around.
Sounds like my life.
Said he would get home on a Friday, get paid on Friday. Said he'd have no money by Saturday.
Holy
He'd just
shit.
be sitting there with a jug of moonshine.
Wow.
And just drinking all weekend. He'd hear him throwing up, and they'd be beating the shit out of him.
Fantastic.
We're talking like a 1-bedroom shack.
Yeah.
A shack.
You can hear everything.
Oh, and it's so fucking horrible. This place is so disgusting. It's had no running water, no plumbing. They had an outhouse, Jimmy. The floor, you could see through the floorboards the dirt on the ground.
No.
Like it's barely even a house, basically.
Wow,
it's
just
like
a shelter on sticks.
Yeah, it's a giant cardboard box.
He's camping every day.
He's got the best homeless setup ever. That's what it is. Like, as if he was a bum, the other bums would envy what he had. They'd be like, "That's great." But as far as houses go, not so fantastic. Yeah, you could see the ground. Which is, he called it a shack. Everybody called it a shack. This is in Seneca. They called it the worst house in the worst part of Seneca's worst area.
He basically grew up in Haiti.
It's basically Haiti, the Bruce Hill section of Seneca. It's horrible, apparently. His name, Willie Mays, apparently his uncle's name was Willie. That's where the Willie came from. There's legend that, the doctor thought he was going to be a great baseball player, all that horse shit. But for what the real story seems to be from the basic deal, Willie was his uncle's name, and they said, let's name him after Uncle Willie. It's like his mom's brother's name or something. And then Dr. Mays was like the doctor.
The guy that delivered him?
I was the one that like kind of took care of his mom or whatever, and kind of was like
family practice.
Yeah, he was like the town country doctor type of thing. So they stuck that in there.
That's
so it was Willie Mays, whatever. So there you go, Willie Mays Aikens, and I don't know where the hell the Aikens came from. I guess it was his father. Who knows? It's one of his mother's married names. She's got a couple of names, and that's one of them. But
so she was married to the guy long enough to get pregnant, and then he took off.
Maybe she just grabbed the name. I don't know, because his mother's a whack job from when we find out. She gets better later, but mother, alcoholic, drug addict, shocker.
Weird.
Prostitute.
Great.
Another shocker. Yeah, really
This is the making of a serial killer.
Absolutely. Mother was called an unaffectionate streetwalker. Was how she was called in one article here. He said, quote, "My stepfather was an alcoholic and my mother was a street lady." That's pretty
cut and dry.
Right to the point right there.
It.
Not real great at all for him.
That's summing up two people in so few words.
It's so few words and so easy and perfect.
Yeah.
Sometimes the mother would do business in front of the kids in the shack.
Oh, no.
And there's stories in his book of like, they were all there and they could hear the alcoholic stepfather, on the mother there and them going at it, and they were just on the other side. There's no lights, so they're just sitting there. But if one of them lit a candle, it would be, You can
see the shadow of them flickering from the candlelight.
You can hear them. Oh. It's like, that's horrific, man.
Jesus. And there's no washing up after.
No.
It's just
there's no running water.
It's just dirty people getting dirtier.
It's
Yuck.
disgusting. Yeah. You could smell it from the other side of the room.
The whole room would stink.
Of vomit and prostitute.
And
moonshine. I saw this interview with him and the author of his book, the book he releases at a later date. Mm-hmm. And the author in the first two drafts, I guess, referred to his mother as a whore twice, and Willie read them, and it was fine with him. Whore went through. Third draft, though, Willie said, "Can you change one word for me?" And he said, "Sure, what?" And he said, "Whore. Could you change it to harlot?" Which I think is worse, honestly. I think it's worse, which I thought...
so 50s definition of a whore.
I'm laughing because I'm expecting, could you soften it a little bit? And
could you call her a trollop?
He just wanted it to be more poetic, that's all. Because this guy's got
harlot
flair.
runs off the lips better than whore.
He's got flair. We'll do it in their own words, right away off the top here. In their own words, Willie Mays Aikens, quote, "I grew up with a stepfather and mom that were alcoholics and were in and out of county jails and stuff. And I saw that at a young age, and that stuff didn't stop me when I became an adult as far as experimenting or trying cocaine or whatever." So, no lesson learned whatsoever.
I see it, so I do it.
You see it, so you do it. You see it, and then you get money, and then you're like, well, I could do that now, and I don't have to, fuck people in front of my kids in the shack. I have running water. I can go wash my crotch off in the sink afterwards if I really want to, if it's a necessity for me.
Or rinse my dick under some cold water.
In the house lived his mother, sister, grandmother, 2 cousins, and an alcoholic stepfather that beat all of them.
It's like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate. It's Charlie Bucket's house.
It's like I was going to say, it's like depression. Yeah. It's like another time.
Would everybody like some cabbage soup?
Yeah, this is 50s, 60s, but it's really like 1929 Dust Bowl conditions. Yeah. It's disgusting.
Jesus.
He got into church a little bit when he was a kid, and this is a recurring theme with him. He saw a neighbor family that wasn't a disaster.
Yeah.
That they were just poor, but they had like a family.
They had buttons on their shirts.
They had shoes, and things, and so they would go to church every Sunday, and at 12 he asked if he could go to church with them.
Oh, and, that's sweet.
Yeah, he just wanted, it's sweet,
I'm
but
rooting for this loser.
He just wanted to get out of the house, basically. That's all it was, because he said he was...
Hey, can I come to church with you guys and possibly get molested? Because it's better than listening to my alcoholic stepfather rail my whore mother.
I'll probably get molested at home too, but I'll be beaten savagely there also. At the religious folk, they won't beat me.
That's a much better day.
It'll be a gentler diddling. We'll put it that way. Much gentler diddling. So he basically started playing sports at age 7 to get out of the shack.
Yeah.
He just wanted out, didn't give a shit. He liked football. He loved baseball the most. He played basketball. Like, he's such a good athlete, he makes the varsity baseball team in the 8th grade.
Wow.
He's a big kid. He's 6'2", 200 pounds, when he's 15 years old. He's one of those kids that had a mustache.
200 pounds at 15?
Yeah, he's a big, beefy guy.
Wow.
And he's always big and beefy, and he fights his weight later on in his life here. But horrible.
How do you gain weight when you're that poor?
I don't know. He's just big.
Maybe it's just your body hanging on to the deposits because it doesn't know when you're going to get the next food.
Plus, a lot of his coaches, too, were feeding him and taking him to their houses for dinner and things like that because they felt bad. They literally had to buy him shoes. Wow. He didn't have shoes. Like, he'd walk around, with holes in his shoes.
Not even cleats, just shoes.
Oh, no, they had to buy him cleats, but he had no shoes. He had, shoes, but they said his feet would be showing through in the bottom. He's like an old-timey, vagabond hobo.
Right. Dragging his books on his belt.
He's got a bindle with a little handkerchief on the end with some beans in it, maybe.
He's got, like old tire treads sewn together as shoes.
That's pretty,
like in Africa.
With string tied around him. There's
he knows what twine is. He's very versed in
he has
twine and box knots and all that shit.
Twined himself up an outfit. How do you think he went to the prom, Jimmie? He made himself a twine tuxedo.
Twine is in his sock drawer. I guarantee it.
I got my socks, my underwear, and I got my twine. All right, I can make more underwear. Yeah. Perfect. So there's a horrible story in his book that is. I read it and I went, oh God! It's one of these stories that we're pricks. Yeah. You know what I mean? And we do this and we make fun of everybody. Right. I felt horrible when I read this. I really did.
I can't wait to be a person right now.
I just felt bad for that. I could picture this little kid. He's a little kid. He's 12 years old.
We're about to find out how much of a human I am versus you because I never feel anything.
No.
That's my wife's biggest gripe about me is that I have no emotions.
Oh no, yeah, you're a disaster. You're a sociopath. Absolute sociopath.
So let's see if I feel something.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I have high emotions both ways. I hate you. I love you. I'm Italian. What do you want from me,
I
man?
stick with when I like somebody, I enjoy them, and that's like with you and my kids and my wife. I enjoy you guys very much. Yeah. You guys are like my You guys are my family. My kids are like my family. Anyway,
they're like your family. Yeah.
So you're my family.
Sometimes and put some desserts out. Some
but
cookies.
Then if I don't like somebody, I just I don't give a fuck about them at all. I have no emotion whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, go on. Okay. He's 12 years old. He's got holes in his shoes.
All right.
He's hungry. His mom's getting fucked in the same room as him in the shack. I mean, let's really set the scene.
But Dr. Mays probably too.
Yeah. So Moonshine stepdad here, fucking Johnny Moonshine comes into the room, and apparently he is just lit up, super drunk, and he starts beating up the mom. And Willie steps into the middle of this, 12 years old. He's trying to protect, and it's so in the book too. He says he didn't tend to his mom. Right. He was he knew that wasn't what he was going to do, but he was just you're not going to beat my mom up anymore here. He's making a stand.
Yeah.
So apparently the stepfather had a knife he sees. So the stepfather's got a knife, and the stepfather lunges at him and his mom knocks him out of the way, and his mom gets cut in her neck. Gets stabbed in the neck.
What the
sliced.
Fuck?
So she's bleeding all over the place. Now it's nighttime. It's dark in there. They don't have any fucking lights. There's no running water. You can't even wash it off. You can't look at it. So he picks his mom up bloody from this and carries her a mile down the street with holes in his shoes to the hospital
Holy
and
shit.
saves her life, and they take care of her, and she's okay. How fucking heartbreaking is that?
That's just life
That's
altering
horrible.
forever.
That's just an anecdote. That's not like, this is when my life changes, the worst thing that happened to me. This is on Sunday this one month.
This one time, my stepdad stabbed my mom in the neck.
This isn't the worst thing. This is just another day.
He's aiming for a jugular, by the way. He's trying to kill her.
It's insane. Yeah, this guy's
And he carried her a mile at 12 years old.
Yeah, he was 200 pounds. He was a giant kid, so that helped him a lot. He started playing as many sports. His stepfather dies when he's 14, so...
2 years later, that guy's out.
Yeah, thank
That's
goodness
nice.
for that.
Yeah.
I'm happy for that guy. Fuck him. First guy, fuck off you. I'm
For sure.
happy you're dead. I wish he would have gone to prison with Tom Paine is the only thing I would have wished more for him. That's what I want from Tom Paine. I would want him to die because he's such a piece of shit, but I don't. I want him...
Use him.
In our own little special area of the prison where we can send people we really hate. Yeah. And we go, here you go, Tom, and we just push him in a room.
It's just you, Tom Paine, and a dish towel.
That's
towel.
It. We throw a dish towel to Tom Paine and push you in the door and lock it behind him. Enough said. That's it.
And an episode of Crime and Sports playing that you
Tom
get to hear
Paine's
why.
episode, so he's angry. We want him to be really angry about it as we mock him for sodomy. I want it bad, Jimmy. This is what I want out of this whole thing.
And it's too bad America's so stuck on civil rights.
I know, not civil rights, civil liberties.
Civil liberties,
not civil
right.
rights. Yeah, people can.
Just everybody gets a fair shake.
Yeah,
Fuck fair shake.
Well, they get a fair shake,
when
but
you
once they've
stab
had
a woman
their
in the
fair
neck.
shake, once you've had your fair shake, if you're a shack dad with a jug of moonshine. Stabbing your mom and stabbing his poor kid's mom in the neck and terrorizing everybody. Tom Paine, you sir, fuck off. You sir may get Tom Paine. You send him off. Go on. If you haven't listened to Tom Paine, check him out.
There's a little placard over the door that says House of Pain.
Of all of this too, he's got an awful stutter, a debilitating stutter. So that's a problem, also.
Hold on, Mama! Don't die on me. She had to endure a mile of that shit.
Mama, almost there. It's like
by the time he finished the almost there, they were at the fucking hospital. So whatever.
He's stuttering away, and he's very shy about this too. He's very self-conscious.
Oh God,
obviously,
that's
as a
brutal.
kid, you're big first of all, and you can't talk. I mean, you're obviously more poor than everyone else there. Everyone else has soles on their shoes. You know what I mean?
And you're explaining to them the benefits of twine.
Yeah, they're like, "What's in your bindle, buddy? What you got there?" It's fucking sad.
That's terrible. Kids are terribly mean.
And with all of this, he was still a good student. His basketball coach, Tom Shaver, which is his first silver-haired middle-aged white man. Here, Tom Shaver. He says that he's an excellent student, quote, good with the books. The principal, Harry Hamilton of Seneca High School, said, quote, he had a very high temper. Oftentimes when someone made him mad, he stuttered. When he got real mad, he couldn't talk at all. He just... and he would
he just locks
snap.
up.
He would snap, yeah. He just couldn't talk. It's amazing. And
well, he's good at school too, probably, because it's like he gets to focus on something and apply himself and not be in that fucking hell
That's
house.
it, and it's sports. He's in every sport. I mean, those sports, basketball, baseball, football, that's the whole year.
Yeah.
That takes care of it all. You know, the summer must have been rough on him. But, they had workouts in the summer for football, I hear later. But Coach Tom Shaver, the basketball coach, said, quote, you have to understand, Willie was a big boy, must have weighed 240. He was a tackle on the football team, but he could jump as high as anyone in the school. I wanted him under the basket, but he had a tendency to think he was a point guard. So he's this giant guy just trying to go down the court distributing.
You know what?
Big Charles Barkley look-alike. That's what he would look like.
A lot of guys, when they don't have a childhood, they tend to think of themselves as smaller than they really are.
Yeah.
Because they're resorting back to trying to have a child.
Yeah.
That's probably something he was doing.
Later on, absolutely.
Yeah,
we'll hear all about that.
Definitely something psychiatric going on.
His baseball coach, Willie McNeil, is his silver-haired, middle-aged black man.
I love it.
Yeah, he helps. He's the guy who buys him cleats, who takes him for dinner, who, he gets him later on into a great program here because he's also a South Carolina State alum, this coach. And Willie ends up getting a scholarship to South Carolina State University.
How about that?
Full football scholarship. Didn't give a shit about baseball.
Wow.
Full football. So he thought, great, I'll go play football and I can play baseball too. I'll walk on the baseball team and that way I can play baseball. Because all he wanted to do was play baseball. I mean, I guess no one else was looking at him.
Yeah.
But South Carolina State.
Well, at that size, who's looking for a fucking guy that big to play baseball?
Yeah, well, I mean, they just weren't that. They didn't care about their program because 1 year, and after his freshman year, they dropped the baseball program completely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's a problem.
Poor kid.
The baseball coach here, Willie McNeil, he hooks him up with a guy named Willie Hughes.
There's a shitload of Willies in the South.
Man. A lot of everybody's named Willie, who is a scout for the Baltimore Orioles.
Oh.
And Hughes takes him over the sites, Youse. So Youse, we'll call him Youse.
Okay.
I think it's Youse.
Yeah.
So Youse here takes him and gets him into a semi-pro baseball league in Baltimore.
That's nice.
It's a little summer thing, and basically he told him, I'll get you a job. You know, you'll come up there, you'll do
like
the
The
deal.
Blind Side.
Yeah, he said, I'll get you a job, I'll hook you up, find you a place to live. He said Reggie Jackson, I guess, played on that team back in the day.
Oh, wow.
And a couple other big major leaguers had played on that team. So it was like, hey, other guys had played here. Scouts look at the team, whatever.
There's a future here.
There's a future. So come on here, whatever. And because his freshman year in college, he hit 360 with 12 homers.
Holy shit.
So he ripped it up his freshman year in college. He's he can hit, this guy.
Absolutely.
That was not easy to find South Carolina State 1974 statistics, by the way. He's playing this semi-pro deal, and Youse, who's also silver-haired as they come here,
nice.
Tells him to drop out of college and make himself eligible for the draft. Since they dropped the baseball program, that's all he was interested in anyway. He said, why don't you drop that? He said, I'm pretty sure you're going to be drafted by a major league team, he said. Wink, wink, kind of a deal.
I might have some friends.
So then 1975 draft comes along. 2 weeks before it, unbeknownst to Willie Mays Aikens, Youse quits his job with Baltimore, gets a job with the Angels.
Somebody had an inside track.
So now the 75 draft, the January draft comes around, amateur draft, and the Angels, he's sitting back going, no one's picking me till 25 because that's when Baltimore is. So I got some time to chill for a while. And turns out he gets picked number 2. He's like, how the fuck did the Angels...
Overall?
Yeah, overall, number 2.
Wow.
He's like, how the hell did they know? Ironically enough, too, one of his teammates from South Carolina State was number 1 overall. A guy named Gene Richards, which is really weird. But yeah, he picks him, and he's like, what the hell? Youse calls him up and says, oh, by the way, I quit the Orioles 2 weeks ago, got a job with the Angels.
Guess where I work?
I drafted you.
Guess where you're going?
Because he was like, how'd the Angels draft me? He goes, I drafted you, idiot. Fucking, who else?
Coming to L.A., babe.
No one else was really worth a shit. It was known as one of the worst draft years in baseball history, 75. Really? Number 4 overall was Tom Brookins, who was a mediocre left side of the infield guy for the Tigers for a while.
Is that about the best one in the draft?
That was about the best thing you could come up with. I mean, later on, and I think that was first round. Lower rounds, I think that was when Andre Dawson was drafted in the 11th round.
Yeah.
And later rounds, there was some guys.
He stayed with the Cubs his whole career.
1 year he was with the Cubs. Or
what?
2 years. Yeah, he was with the Expos for a long time.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he was an Expo for a long time when he was great. He had that MVP season in '87.
Now I'm remembering.
But I mean, athletically and physically, he was amazing.
That Jerry curl was unbelievable.
Oh man, that arm was unbelievable.
I loved his Jerry curl.
Him and Dave Winfield could fire it from the corner to the plate. It was unreal. Love it. So 75, he reports to Angels training camp, weighing 252 pounds.
Holy shit.
They had requested he show up at 220, so not cool. There's a coach, though, that actually says, I'm going to get him down to 220, and by the end, somehow gets him down like 30 pounds over
Now,
a month.
mind you, this is a kid coming, a country bumpkin, coming from poor life, going to Los Angeles.
Well, yeah,
That's
California.
Incredible.
Well, this is spring training, so it's Arizona.
Oh, okay.
At this point, he's in Arizona. But before that, it was then he's going to go to Los Angeles.
Yeah, he's going to
team.
He's going to the place, the biggest market in America.
So he gets his signing bonus, moves his mother out of the shack, buys her a house with a floor and a toilet.
That's sweet.
Which is
Maybe
nice.
some linoleum.
Hey Ma, why don't you go shit over there, please? Oh my, a shitting hole. And it goes right down.
It's so hard. It's so firm and cold.
It's amazing though. She talks. She's from South Carolina and she's born in the 30s. She talks like that.
And I just press this handle and it goes away.
Absolutely. I defend that accent, Jimmy, because that's how she talks. I'm sorry. Fuck that.
I got family that talks exactly like that.
Her name's Lucille. They call her Celie.
Oh, boy.
So,
no more whoring, Ma.
No more whoring, Celie. So, yeah. Told her, though, that she needed to clean up her act if he wanted her, if she wanted his help.
You want my help? No more whoring.
He made decent money here. And the minors, he comes up in 75, or 77, I'm sorry, briefly. Right. makes an appearance, does not do well. Initially, he does all right, but then he ends up with 91 at-bats. He hits 198. So not
pretty
great.
Brutal.
Not terrific.
Not even 200.
No, goes back down to the minors. 78, he rips up the minors, hits 336 with 14 homers, 73 RBI in 77 games at Salt Lake City. So that's...
Wow.
He's beastly down there. They bring him back up for 79. Rod Carew is injured in the beginning of the season, hurts his wrist, so he's out. This is beginning of the season. He's going to be out a month to 2 months.
All right.
They put him in. He's a first baseman, Willie Mays Aikens.
Wow.
They put Willie in.
He's subbing for Rod Carew.
He's subbing for a Hall of Famer, Rod Carew. If you know him from baseball, you know that weird stance he had all crouched down, 3,000 hits, Hall of Fame. If you're too young for that, you will know him from the Adam Sandler song, the Hanukkah song, Hall of Famer, Rod Carew. He converted. If you're too young for that, go fuck yourself, die in a fire. Okay. Just kidding. Don't die in a fire. Keep listening to the show, but I'm jealous of your youth. All right, then. Moving on. So, 79. He ends up hitting 280, 21 homers, 81 ribbies, 869 OPS, and only 379 at-bats in 79. So that's a hell of a rookie year. Yeah, 2 months he's filled in for Rod Carew, actually.
Two months.
And then they moved him in and out of DH
That's
and shit like that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
From Shaq Daddy and Whore Mama.
Yeah.
To that.
From Moonshine Papa.
Yeah.
And fucking,
Moonshine Papa.
So, 79 with the Angels, something interesting happens. He is in Minnesota, and he's in the team hotel there, and he's walking down the hallway, and some of his teammates are in a room, and they open the door, and they pop out, and they say, come on in and hang out. And what's on the table? A big pile of cocaine.
Hell yes.
This is one of those moments. Remember we see these serendipitous moments when people that shouldn't cross paths paths, and they make this super horrible Voltron person.
He's just looking for his room, and all of a sudden finds a big pile of cocaine.
This is one of those moments here with the cocaine where it's like, oh, Willie, no, not the cocaine, anything but that. Stop. He does that. He said it didn't really speak to him the first time. He said it was all right, but didn't. He said he claims to not have done it again for the rest of the season.
All right.
Till that year, till the 1980 season. Now, December 6th, 1979, he's traded with Rance Mullenix to Kansas City for Al Cowens, who's a right fielder who was actually a pretty good player, second in the MVP vote in 77. Hilarious here. In 1980, an Al Cowens sidebar here. Al Cowens, sorry. 1980, he gets in a fight with a pitcher beans him, breaks his jaw.
Okay.
Right? So he's out for a while.
Yeah.
Next season comes around. He's at the plate. He hits a double play ball or whatever. While the pitcher's turned around to watch the double play, he comes up from behind him and just fucking clobbers him.
Same pitcher?
That pitcher, yeah. He never even ran to first base. He just hit the ball, ran to the mound, and clocked the guy.
He's like, I'm out. I'm going to drill this guy.
So good that there was an arrest warrant out for him.
Holy shit.
He had to take off and run away, and then they ended up settling it with the two players shaking hands on doing the lineup card exchange before the next game.
That's nice.
So basically, that was his way of not getting arrested.
Way to go, Cowens.
But so he's on Kansas City now. This is where great things and terrible things happen for him at the same time. Kansas City Royals. It's going from L.A. to the Midwest, which is interesting.
Yeah.
That's kind of but still, I mean, he's used to South Carolina, so whatever, it's fine. This is when he really started to party. At this point in KC. This is when it became a part of his lifestyle and a part of his whole deal.
I imagine they do a lot of shit like that in the Midwest.
There was a lot of guys on the team that were... He said there are 4 or 5 teammates that use drugs, and so that made him feel like he wasn't doing anything wrong.
What year was this? 70?
This is 80.
80, okay.
Yeah. So he said a lot of teammates were doing it.
So
4 or 5
who's on that team?
George Brett.
George Brett? Is Reynolds there?
Which Harold? No, he's on the... no, who are you talking about?
I try...
This is Willie Wilson.
Okay.
Those guys, Vita Blue.
George Brett's the best one on the team.
George Brett's
George
Brett's the best one on the team for 20 years, for Christ's sake, or 18 years.
Yeah.
So he basically feels like he was just socializing with his teammates. That's what he felt like. That's what you're supposed to do as a major league player. They go have drinks, they do some coke, and they chase women.
Yeah.
What's more natural than that? He's thinking, right? Sounds good.
That's a man.
The season goes. He has a good second half of the season, really comes on strong. World Series comes along. Kansas City goes all the way to the World Series. They get the revenge on the Yankees, sweeping them in the championship series. And so they play the Phillies in the 80 World Series. Game 1 is Willie's 26th birthday. he hits 2 home runs.
Holy shit. Happy birthday, Willie.
Happy fucking birthday. Lost the game, but he hits 2 home runs.
Who gives
anyway.
a shit?
So,
It's time to party.
Happy birthday. You're doing a good job, kid. You know, it's his second full year
2
in
homers
the
on
league.
his 26th birthday
And he said
in the World Series.
In Kansas City, they were booing him kind of because he had a slow start in the beginning. So this made him feel good that he was showing himself.
He did his part.
Game 3, he hits the first triple of his career. He's a slow fuck, first of all.
Oh, I'll bet.
He has 3 career stolen bases. 3. They were in his first 3 years, and then never again.
And it's
plotting.
You almost bet that was just like they just assumed he wasn't going to run. They were like, "Oh shit, he's actually going."
You're like, "Oh shit, Willie took off." What's up with that? It was like a double steal, and they threw it to the guy behind him because you can throw behind Willie. He's the only guy where it's okay to throw behind the runner. One of those deals.
So, cut him off.
So then he hits a game-winning single also, which is a big deal in the 10th inning. Yeah, that's a 10th inning. Big extra innings.
All right.
Yeah. And at this, he was trying to fly his mother in for the game and get her there in time to see any part of the game. Mm-hmm. She heard that in the car on the way over.
Oh, that's
She's
nice.
never seen him play a game ever of anything.
She was
whoring the whole time.
Yeah, she was slutting it up.
Yeah,
she almost saw him be a hero.
Game 4, she's in the stands in Kansas City. He hits 2 more home runs.
Wow.
Becomes the first guy to have multi-homer.
Seeley screaming about, "That's my boy."
Yeah. And he's after these games, he is partying like, you have no idea. Coke like crazy. They're going nuts because he hits home runs, does a bunch of coke, comes out the next day, plays even better. Yeah. It's like, this is great. Yeah. He thinks he's figured it out. Like he thinks at this point, this is when he starts saying that he thinks it's a performance-enhancing drug for him. Wow. He knows how much to take, the night before, so he gets, to where he needs to be, which is goddamn insane.
That's incredible.
So they end up losing the series in 6, but he becomes a legend. You're a clutch World Series legend in Kansas City, and really in baseball lore, you're a guy who played in 1 World Series and absolutely
and was a hero. You did everything you had to do.
He hit 400 with 4 homers and 8 ribbies in that World Series, which can't do much better than that, I don't think.
4 homers, 8 RBIs.
Not too
and
shabby.
Batted 400?
And batted 400.
Holy
shit. Ripped it up. Absolutely ripped it up. He was a beast. His off the field, here's in their own words later on about his off the field, but, in their own words, quote, "I was living a destructive lifestyle and I had no plans of stopping what I was doing because I felt like I was having a good time. I just decided that, hey, I'm going to live my life the way I want to live my life. And if I want to snort cocaine once in a while and go have some drinks, well, then I'm going to do that."
And it's fucking working.
Yeah, he's like, it's working for me.
Yeah.
I can afford it. I'm living a fun life. Everybody's telling me how great I am. I mean, they're all telling how great he is. This is the thing. It's like Clint Hurdle was on the team, and they said that he just kept saying, "You're a bad man. You're a bad man." Over. I mean, he's a kid too. They're telling him he's doing a great job. It's
26 years old.
It's perfect. Yeah,
he's a young man.
Absolutely. So in 1981. He's inducted into the first inaugural class of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Hall of Fame, which is the South Carolina State.
Doesn't get any more obscure than that.
Basically, he's a guy that made it to the pros and had a good World Series. That went to this
that
tiny
SEC? Is that what you said? Oh, okay.
South Carolina State University.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's where the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference is.
Okay.
So he only played baseball 1 year there, but now he's a World Series hero. So Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's our boy.
It's in. So, I mean, they're telling him he's going down there. After the World Series, he went home. They had a ticker tape parade in his hometown.
After he lost.
In his hometown. They had a big parade for him. I mean, well, it's a tiny town, and he made it. And
but he lost,
and
they're still running parades for him.
Parades, Jimmy, in the street. I mean, you can't get any more, "You're doing the right thing, Willie," than, "We love you so much, we've lined up cars as far as the eye can see, and we have the front, the I don't even know, the 4-H queen is waving at people." Whatever the fuck
and
they do
Seeley's
down there.
Tired vagina hanging over a fire truck on the front.
Yeah, she's resting. She's going to rest it this week. So, 1981, his championship, if you win the AL or NL championship, even whether when you go to the World Series, whether you win or not, you get a ring from the team. So he had the AL championship ring. It gets stolen from his apartment in 1980.
Oh, that's
or 1981. Yeah, and the funny thing is, at the time, he didn't even care.
Yeah.
He was like, he said he wasn't sure if it was stolen by, or people coming in and out that were partying, because he was having parties and hanging out, and or there was also a break-in. He's like, I don't know, somebody stole it from the break-in or stole it whenever. He said he didn't even report it stolen because they lost the World Series, and quote, it didn't even have a diamond in it. So I mean, that's the kind of attitude he's got right now. Not a healthy, good attitude.
Wow.
He's got kind of a shit attitude.
Worthless piece of shit.
I'm telling you.
Didn't even have a diamond.
Here's another. This guy's a quote machine, by the way. They got a bunch of good in their own words. Here's another in their own words about drugs in the 80s. This is about coke use in the 80s.
Yeah.
Quote, I knew somebody on each team getting high. They would turn me on to coke when I was on the road, and I would do the same in KC. Steroids were considered okay in the 90s and 2000s, like cocaine was acceptable in the MLB in the 80s, unquote. And that's a fact. I know a guy who was an ex-MLB player that talked about this a lot. Up until the 90s, cocaine was
huge.
People, no one, if someone was doing coke or whatever and you knew that was their thing, you mind your own fucking business. If that gets them up for the game and they play well, great, do it.
Shut your mouth.
Because they were all doing greenies, which are just fucking amphetamines anyway. It's just, it's speed they're doing anyway. So they were just considered, that was getting yourself prepared.
That's amazing.
Because it's a 162-game season.
Yeah, it's the same as jogging on a treadmill.
It's a grind.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, if you need that to get up, it's an afternoon game after a night game, and you went out and partied, you didn't go to sleep till 5 in the morning, and now it's 1 in the afternoon, and you're out playing left field in the sun.
As long as you're in the batter's box when it's your turn.
You might need some energy, so that's the way they look at it. Excuse me.
Meanwhile, when shit like this happens, and they're like partying, I'm always in my head fascinated by like what music they're listening to.
Oh, God.
The number one song in 81 when he was partying was Kim Carnes' Betty Davis Eyes.
I don't think he was listening to Betty Davis.
You think he was listening to Diana Ross and Lionel Richie's Endless Love? Kenny Rogers' Lady?
No, he's not a Kenny Rogers guy. I see
Rick
him
Springfield's
as like
Jesse's Girl?
I see him as like a Isaac Hayes mid-70s soul kind of guy, maybe. You know what I mean?
Maybe he's running with Dolly Parton's 9 to 5.
Yeah, he's listening to like Sly and the Family
Smokey
Stone.
Robinson, Being With You. Maybe Blondie's Rapture.
I think as
Blondie was the shit then, man.
Yeah, I think he probably wanted to fuck Blondie, but I doubt that he listened to Blondie's music.
Anyway, go on.
So 81, a fan who's like a wealthy guy starts coming to the games and inviting the players back to his house to party. What this entailed was free cocaine for the players.
He's his Mark Busby.
Oh, free cocaine. Well, I don't think Busby's sending us cocaine quite yet. But
Busby's sending us beers. He's just trying to entice us.
That's true.
Maybe that's the start. That's
Busby's
our
grooming us. He's going to put a dish towel around our face at any moment, Jimmy. Watch out. If you didn't live in Australia, I'd be frightened.
Does a fan have a name?
So we don't get this guy's name.
All
here.
right.
He's a guy who I think there was a federal thing with it or something too with this guy.
I would fucking imagine so.
Well, they knew. Basically, he said he remembered times when there were 6 players from the Royals going over at a time. That's a quarter of the active roster.
Holy shit.
1/4 of the active roster is going over to his house to party and do coke.
Starting line, 2/3 of the starting lineup is in this dude's house doing coke, just blowing lines all over the place.
And Willie felt like as long as he played well, he wouldn't get in trouble because he gets off on that shit in the past. He's gotten off on so much shit in the past.
Yeah.
And he even says, in their own words, about that. In their own words.
He's such a yapper.
He's a yapper, this guy. He wrote a book and he talked because he was trying to get it's all right here. In their own words, quote, well, I had stuff that happened to me before. Each time they would just slap me on the wrist and say, hey, Willie, slow it down or whatever. I had done that time. I never really got prosecuted before that. I was kind of thinking that I could basically do anything and nothing would happen to me. Because I was a ball player, I got off on lots of things that I did. So that's his mindset in this. And it's been,
I play baseball.
It's been repeated to him. I mean, that's the thing. Who knows how many times he's gotten pulled over, all fucked up, and they were like, oh, it's Willie. Good job in the World Series last year. And they let him go. This was not TMZ and Twitter, and the cops weren't trying to... You weren't trying to bring in the famous guy. You wanted to be friends with the famous guy. Maybe Willie gave him a couple of tickets to the game for him and his kid.
Yeah.
And, said, yeah, I'll give your kid an autographed ball and all that. And, oh, good, thanks, Willie. And then they were buddies. Yeah. And that's how it worked back then. It's not how it works now.
No.
Now they're like, I got him.
Yeah.
I got him.
I'm going to get paid for this story. That's what it is.
Exactly. So
fuck the tickets.
He'd give all the Royals, this fan would give all the Royals players free Coke. He'd come out with big giant plates of Coke. And everybody else, he would have big parties, and everyone else that was there, accountants, lawyers, doctors, all these type of people, they'd have to pay for the Coke. But the Royals guys were there to draw in. It was like a casino.
Yeah.
Like they were like greeters, basically.
Yeah,
and they paid him in Coke.
They're the appearing celebrity.
Yeah, for his basement parties.
Right.
They would be like, he said there was like a mini baseball museum in his basement that he would have these parties. It's
like that. It's like that joke that God damn it. What's the guy that opens for Burr that you know?
Oh, Verzi.
Yeah, Verzi's joke. If I don't want to collect baseball cards, I want to collect the people.
Oh yeah,
Lawrence
Taylor
come down to my basement and it's like, who's that? That's Cal Ripken.
Yeah,
you have Cal Ripken in your basement.
Lawrence Taylor's like, get me the fuck out of here. That's a great joke, guys. Listen to Paul Verzi. He's a really funny comic. Actually, too, I'll be opening for him. I'll be featuring for him. He's headlining the Tempe Improv on September 21st. So come on out to that and say hi.
Hello.
All right, here we go. Sorry. Hey, when it comes up in conversation,
that was kind of the idea.
I know. Thanks, Jimmy. You're a good guy like that. So let's see here. So he's 1982 we get to now. Now, 1982, 81, he has a good season on the field. Not a great in average, 266, 17 home runs, 53 ribbies, 836 OPS, which is pretty good. 349 at-bats, doesn't play a ton. I think he had a little knee tweak in the beginning of the year.
Short season.
82, two FBI agents come into the clubhouse to talk to the Royals players now. Because this is the time when... In America, for all you overseas listeners, in America in the 80s, the government and people went batshit over drugs. Yeah. Insane over drugs. I mean, that's all that mattered was don't do drugs, don't do drugs. It was fucking nuts. Yeah. It was really over the top, and a lot of things happened because of that we're going to get into. But this is the beginning of it. Two agents come in to talk to the players about gambling and drugs, basically. And hookers and shit like that. Basically saying we're watching you. Right. So be careful.
Trying to give them a rookie symposium.
For everybody. Yeah. And so he named 6-7 players that go to that fan's house to party.
Oh, shit.
The FBI agent did in front of everybody. Said, we know that. We see you guys. And so he's basically saying, you're not getting away with shit over here. So,
we've been sitting out front. We know your cars. We know your license plates.
Yeah. So I guess Hal McRae, who's a future manager and at that time a pretty good player for the Royals, actually had a son that was in the majors too, Brian. He tried to talk to Willie and tell him to stop at this point and all that, but
there's no talking at this point.
No. And he said this was the time he started to feel like he couldn't stop too. This is when this was a part of his life. Started he knew how much to use. It was a performance enhancer for him. Had his best season in '83 when he used the most cocaine. He said. I mean, that was. Anytime he played baseball, that was the most coke he was using, the best season he ever had.
If there's something that helps me write jokes better, I don't give a fuck if it's illegal. I'm going to do it. I'm going to find out how to do it, and I'm going to get it.
And he says in interviews later, I didn't know shit about steroids. He's like, I never heard of a steroid or anything in baseball back then. He said, if there was steroids, he goes, hell yeah, I would have used steroids. Are you kidding me? He's like, double my salary? Are you nuts?
My steroid was a white powder.
And they don't even test you. It's not really illegal. It's just a sort of kind of, that's what it used to be.
An unwritten rule.
It was just an unwritten rule. No, sorry, I'm going to make twice as much money. Fuck you and your unwritten rules. So this is... the 83 season, he has a great season. 302, 23 homers, 72 ribbies, 912 OPS.
That's fantastic.
Great season. Rips it up. August 9th, 1983, the Royals GM tells the players that the FBI has informed him that several players are going to be interviewed in regard to a federal investigation of a cocaine case in Kansas. So get ready for that. Yeah. So they're like, oh, shit.
It's clearly about that fan.
It's... 4 players' names come up in these documents here. It's a Kansas businessman. That's all they say. See, we never get his name. He must have turned informant.
Probably. Because we never get his name. Never give his name. That makes sense.
They also say Johnson County Attorney David Roselli. So he got fucked. But Kansas businessman here probably did 6 months and went off to a relocation somewhere. So investigation stemming from arrests made in Dodge City, Kansas, which is kind of funny.
It sounds so 1700s.
Dodge Wyatt Earp was patrolling. I think Wyatt Earp made the arrest. Which you don't see a lot. Not a lot of Old West sheriffs, but here. So the players are Jerry Martin, Willie Wilson, Willie Wilson,
wow.
Yeah, remember him? Willie Mays Aikens, and Vita Blue, who's an all-time great pitcher. Vita Blue, he's amazing.
All 4 of them.
All 4 of them are going down. Are fucked for this, basically.
They're being interviewed. Right.
They're being interviewed for now until October 14th, 1983, when they're charged by the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Oh, shit. That's federal.
That's federal, with attempted cocaine possession.
That's it.
Well, at first they were charged with more.
Yeah.
In the end, what ends up happening is Assistant U.S. Attorney Amanda Mears said that the men were heard on phone calls intercepted by the FBI trying to buy cocaine.
That's how fucking crazy they were about it. That they took taxpayer money, government taxpayer money.
You were trying to buy cocaine.
You tried to buy cocaine. How dare you?
Not even you bought cocaine.
Right, not even you had it on your person.
Attempted.
Right.
So it said, basically on June 18th, it said Willie Wilson, quote, made a call to a residence in Johnson County for the purpose of obtaining a quarter ounce of cocaine. So
wow.
They were trying to get some coke, and on the arrest, he's got his own, in his own words, Willie here. Willie Mays Aikens, not Willie Wilson. Willie says, quote, well, I was really surprised. We didn't know the guy we knew was being watched. I had confidence that nothing was going to happen to us. They ended up indicting all 4 of us because they had us on wiretap talking to this guy that we knew trying to buy drugs from.
Jesus.
Fucked, basically.
Yeah.
So what they're trying to figure out what to do. They're charged with a felony.
Yeah.
So they contact the Players Association because they're like, how far do we want to fight this?
Get our union.
And they say, basically, what would happen if a player got convicted of a felony who's active? And they said, well, you'd never play in the league again.
Right.
And they went, okay, shit.
So let's make a not deal. Guilty.
So no, let's make a deal. So they made a deal. They're first-time offenders. They make a deal as it's all misdemeanor.
Oh, that's nice.
Vita Blue is actually convicted of actual cocaine possession.
Wow.
But it's still a misdemeanor in this particular case.
That's
and
nice.
Then they get the attempted whatever. So you would expect, what are they going to get for that? A misdemeanor first.
Some probation, some
probation,
6 weeks
right?
of probation.
You would think, right? No, they get 90 days in jail.
Oh my God!
They get 90 days in prison in Texas.
In like federal prison?
It's a minimum security prison now.
But it's down in Texas. They got to leave the state to go, so it's a federal one.
But I mean, he says this is great. The quote, another in their own words. He has this quote about everything I bring up. It's awesome. He says, "Quote." We had no idea we were going to go to jail. At our sentencing, the judge made an example of us. He told us right then, we're professional baseball players and we shouldn't be doing what we had done.
No doubt. Kids look up to you, sir.
Yeah, you're in it. And that was the beginning of that, trying to shame these guys.
Yeah.
So, but at the prison, he said it wasn't a deterrent because he said he was able to work out. There was females at the prison.
Awesome.
There's women there.
Awesome.
He said he's walking around holding people's hands and shit, women's hands. He said he had sex a whole bunch while he was there.
Wow.
So, I mean, he's like, what kind of deterrent is that? I'm having sex.
That is awesome.
He's like, you can't. I'm working out every day, having sex. He's like, it was like a break.
It's a vacation.
Yeah, it was like it was what it was. If it was anywhere but Texas, it would be like if he was there. If this was like Guantanamo, like an island in Cuba, but he was allowed to have sex and walk around and work out. Yeah. What a fucking great life!
What a party.
That's called a resort.
Why do I want to go back to work?
Yeah,
this is great.
Called a resort. So they're released after 81 days. They get out on March 22nd, 1984. 81 days for good behavior. They get 9 days off for good behavior. He was supposed to report to the Blue Jays training camp. He does that. The players are suspended now for 1 year at this point, even though he's going to camp. The suspensions are reduced. They make a deal with them to, make speeches and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Some of that shit and give money to charity.
Right.
But
the biggest thing that they have to do is quit doing this shit.
And they have to quit doing coke, which we'll see.
What
do you think's going to happen, guys? His mother's a prostitute. Moonshine Daddy beat his ass. There's a neck wound. It's a mess, guys. He has no shoes on.
And this stuff helps him.
And this helps him, and it's making him money. So suspensions are reduced. Players are reinstated on May 15th, 1984. This is funny here. In 85 now, he's traded to the Blue Jays for the 85 season.
Who did he get traded for?
He was traded to Toronto for Jorge Orta. He has a shit season in 84. This is he doesn't start playing until May 15th, so he didn't get spring training.
Gotcha.
Hasn't played in 7 months.
Yeah, he's rusty.
He said,
he
that's
needs
a
some
bad
blow.
thing. Yeah, there's an article in the Ottawa Citizen from March 22nd, 85, later that's talking about the 84 season. It's called Aikens Puts Bad Season Behind Him. And they're saying, because he hit 205 with 11 homers in 84, so not great.
A little fluff piece.
It's a total fluff piece, all about how Aikens hadn't played for 7 months and just, he's going to, it's fine. It was bad, but I'm fine. I'm good now.
Yeah.
I'm good now.
Yeah.
Cocaine.
That's it.
And that's what's going to happen.
Cocaine!
So he's going to have a great year in 85. Ready to bounce back,
Gotcha.
right?
Yeah.
Jimmie, you believe in him?
I believe in him.
30 homers this year?
Absolutely. 32.
32. Okay. Now, April 27th, 1985, playing for the Blue Jays. He hits a home run in this game.
Yep.
You know why that's significant, Jimmy?
Because it's his last one.
Last fucking Major League at bat. So he does hit a home run in his last Major League at bat.
His career's a walk-off home run.
So that's his career.
Yes.
So, yeah, they release him on May 9th, 85. May 19th, 85, they re-sign him to a minor league deal and shit-can him down there. So he's a mess at this point. He's a total mess on drugs.
His life's spiraling out of control.
Yeah. He ends up, they release him after even from the minors. He hooks on with the Mets minor league, Tidewater Tides, which is a AAA team, for 4 games and does terribly there. So he's a disaster. And his baseball career is over at this point, 85. That's it. Totals, career-wise, 271 average, 110 homers, 415 ribbies, 809 OPS, and 3 stolen bases.
That stolen base stat is fucking brutal.
he did lead the league in intentional walks in 1981.
Oh, that's nice.
So they were afraid of him. He was
Barry Bonds for a minute.
Well, after 80, they were like, "Ooh, he's dangerous." You know, like guy on second. Let's just walk him.
He's got coke dripping off his bat. Everybody back up.
He is jacked to the moon. Come on, he's looking like a maniac.
Chewing on his teeth.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So
his molars are ground the fuck down.
Now, around this time, here's his quote about this time, and in their own words, quote, "I was a tremendous junkie. When you are in a state of mind like that, you don't see yourself like that. You're in denial. You don't see that you become selfish and you only think about yourself." So he actually has to think about somebody else.
You don't see how selfish you are.
No, he actually has to think about somebody else, like the federal government, because
watching him.
They subpoena him.
Oh shit!
To testify in the night. This is a big famous thing. It's the 1985 Pittsburgh drug trials. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, guys. It's a big investigation in Pittsburgh. At that time, the Pittsburgh sports teams were known for huge amounts of cocaine. Pittsburgh drug trials were huge.
So the Penguins, the Steelers,
it was mainly
the Pirates?
The Steelers and the Pirates, especially the Pirates. And the Steelers had it too, but the Pirates were, and even the football team. Dan Marino getting drafted late in 83, got way down to 25th, 24th, whatever it was overall, was because there was rumors that he did a lot of coke.
Oh, wow.
Like Art Rooney, the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, had him investigated thoroughly by a Pittsburgh detective to see if he was, and they investigated him for months. They found out all he did was drink and party and do normal college kid shit.
Finger chicks, right.
So anyway, Pittsburgh here,
he could have had a Super Bowl in Pittsburgh.
Oh, God, yeah. 83. Well, that was the end of the year. That was funny, too, because that not to get off on a tangent, but Terry Bradshaw got hurt in the beginning of that year. So
Marino would have been in.
They could have used Marino.
He would have been in.
He was done. Bradshaw was done after that. It was an elbow injury.
He would have been in, and he would have been their hero.
Yeah, and it didn't happen. And he's a hometown boy from Pittsburgh, went to Pitt.
They could have had Sixburg in the 80s. Unbelievable.
What are you going to do?
Yep.
So this Pittsburgh grand jury investigation leads to the suspension of 11 players.
Wow.
Aikens testifies, Vita Blue, Enos Campbell, Keith Hernandez, Jeffrey Leonard, Tim Raines, Lonnie Smith.
Tim Raines was in that shit too?
Tim Raines and everything. Tim Raines did a lot of cocaine.
I didn't realize that.
Oh boy. There's a great thing from him in here.
Okay.
They testified about cocaine use in the majors. This was like a congressional inquiry type of deal where they sit him down. They just want to find out what's going on.
Before steroids.
You're under oath. Now you're going to talk, asshole, basically. So Keith Hernandez, who's the 79 MVP, 86 Mets World Series champion, first baseman, said that he used it for about 3 years, which is bullshit. He used it for more than that, and that about 40% of the players were using using cocaine at this time. 40%, which I don't know. That might. And then later on, he said maybe that's a little high. But
that seems high.
There's a shitload of guys.
Yeah,
I'd say 20.
Probably.
I bet
it would be a little over that.
Probably.
But 40's steep. That's
that's
almost half the league.
That's a shitload.
That's steep.
That's any given night. That's half the guys.
Right.
That's a lot of coke. Like there has to be a few guys that are like older or like Christians or whatever. So anyway, Tim Raines said that he kept a vial of coke with a gram of coke in his uniform pocket. He snorted during games, and this is a famous thing. Always slid head first into bases because he didn't want to break the vial. That was in his back pocket. I mean, it was affecting his base running.
That's amazing.
I want to slide this way, but that coke, I'll just slide.
I got to keep off my coke.
There's an ex-pirate named John Milner that said he bought amphetamines from Willie Mays and Willie Stargell, which are greenies, which was probably true. But
Stargell too?
He was bringing up Hall of Famers, which was a big deal. And that he used to buy coke in the bathroom at Three Rivers Stadium there in Pittsburgh. Even the Pirate Parrot mascot. The fucking mascot got implicated for selling coke and hooking players up with dealers. Kevin Koch, the pirate parrot.
He had it stuffed in his fucking...
I picture him being led away within handcuffs with the big head still on,
yeah.
like his big stupid parrot feet. Bunch of players they basically said a bunch of players were deemed to have been longtime users and distributed to other players, and they're suspended a year. Guys like Joaquin Andahar, Dale Berra, who's Yogi's son.
Really?
Yeah. Keith Hernandez, Dave Parker, who's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that guy's great.
So all these guys, they end up getting the suspensions lifted in exchange for 10% of their salary, which is a fucking lot of money. Like Keith Hernandez sued and had an arbitrator and everything because that was like $90,000 for him. And he's like,
that's steep.
That's a lot of. That's a big fine, $90,000.
They're trying to get the players to pay back the government for the money that they spent on the trial.
This is for drug programs. It's for that they give their money to that and submit to random drug testing and do 100 hours of drug related community service. So yeah,
I don't want this to happen with steroids. Just fucking let them do it.
I don't care, and I don't care if they did coke too.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Doc Gooden, they played great. God, coke.
Daryl Strawberry was amazing.
Coke yourself up.
Yeah, go crazy. I don't give a shit.
In 87, based on this, in 87, the commissioner at the time, Peter Ueberroth, declares baseball drug-free, which is hilarious.
It's the equivalent of George Bush standing on that carrier saying mission accomplished.
It's worse than that. It's like going to the Middle East and saying, it's sand-free here. No sand while you're on a pile of sand.
That is awesome.
Because, I mean, this was Doc Gooden with his... this was the heyday of coke and baseball right here. I mean, this was like everybody was doing coke.
Everybody's a junkie.
This was recreational back then. It was totally fine. Lonnie Smith, who was one of the players who was in that year club and said he was supposed to be submitted to random testing. This was in July of 87. This article came out. He said he's supposed to be tested 6 to 8 times a year, but hadn't been tested at all that year yet. And said, quote, there's plenty of drugs in baseball. Is it drug-free? No. He said,
they should thank God that they didn't have HD television back then. Because those men were so gray. Oh, God. And so their skin...
Huge eyes, gray,
they were all
coke
the same color.
Nostril,
you could barely tell who was black and white. They were just so gray.
Yeah.
Eyes sunken back. They all looked terrible.
Ueberroth said the days of jewelry sales, agents, and friends in the clubhouse are over, which is bullshit because Mel Hall had the whole family of the 14-year-old girl he's hooking up with.
Daryl Strawberry's pulling fans out of the stadium and fucking them in the clubhouse.
No problem. So he's full of shit. Now he can do nothing. Basically, at this point. So he signs in Mexico.
Eesh.
Mexican League with the Puebla Angels, which I'm going to call them the Mexican Angels. they call them the Black Angels.
All right, well,
whatever.
There's a ton of coke down there.
So the Mexican Angels here, they pay him $2,500 a month in '86 to go down there and play, which at least it's a job, I guess.
Get some money.
He has the most beastly year in the history of anything in '86 for the Mexican Angels. They got a steal, basically. He hit .454 with 46 home runs.
Somebody's taking advantage of the coke down there.
Holy shit. Yeah,
he's swimming in coke.
Plus, he's used to playing against major league talent.
That's a good
inferior
point, too.
Talent.
These guys are terrible.
He's raking. I looked at like the rosters of some of these, I was looking for if there was anybody that we knew that was down there or anything.
Nobody. No.
It's 23 guys born in Mexico and 2 American guys.
They got washed out of the league.
They got washed out of AAA. Right. They were like, I can make a few bucks more playing in Mexico.
They're throwing them beach balls down there, and they're jacking them out of the park.
Pretty much. So he plays there. Now, even the states pick up on him a little. Montreal Gazette has an article in July 29th, 1986, in the Where Are They Now section that says, Willie Mays Aikens, where are they now? And it says, he's hitting .447 with 37 home runs and 107 RBI in the Mexican League.
That doesn't scream to the federal government. Where is he now? Doing a shitload of coke.
Tons of coke. But it's not your problem anymore. It's another
not your problem.
So he says that this article also says that the Mexican Angels here have terrible attendance, even with their average ticket price being 500 pesos, which is 80 cents back then.
Holy
they still can't
shit.
Get people to go see these fucking games. So I don't know.
80 cents.
He's jacking home. I can go watch him just jack 46 home runs. It's amazing.
Watch him run batting practice. Forget it. That's all he's doing all day is just batting practice.
Now, and it's it. Just raking. 1986, there's a bunch of articles of him. He just wants back in the majors. He's just like, look at me. I'm hitting great. I'm clean. I'm clean. I swear to God. Says he's in a pro. He says he's not in a program down there, but if he ever gets the urge, he'll call his sponsor back in Baltimore because, quote,
I'm okay.
Quote, I've come too far to mess up now. He's on the straight and narrow, Jimmy.
I don't believe him.
First of all, anytime you hear anyone bragging about sobriety in front of just not... Like, if you're at a meeting and you're bragging about your sobriety, that's where it's for. If you see someone out somewhere bragging about their sobriety, that motherfucker's in trouble. He's about to go off the deep end.
He needs to make a phone call.
He's got problems. Because, you're only doing that because you're, like, reassuring yourself, I feel like.
I'm okay.
And then he's also quoted that, right around that time, he's quoted as telling another newspaper, in their own words, has to be for this one, quote, "I can never say that I won't use drugs again. The reason I did drugs is because I like drugs." End quote. Simple as can be. I love a simple, straightforward quote.
I can't say I'm never going to do it again. It's fucking great.
I did it because I liked it, dumb fuck. Why do you think I did drugs? That sounds like he wanted coke right there.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think I do it? Because I like it. You got any coke? I'll be right back.
I can't say I'd never do it again. If it's in your pocket right now, I'll do it.
Now, 86, major thing happens in the U.S. Len Bias dies. Len Bias was a number 1 draft pick college basketball player that died, I believe, the night he got drafted.
He did.
Cocaine overdose that night, had a heart attack.
That's right.
And
he was touted as going to be the next
he was
Kareem.
the man.
He was going to be everything.
Yeah, he's number 1 overall draft pick. He dies of a cocaine overdose, and the country goes fucking ballistic.
Bad shit.
I remember I was in elementary school. I was in like 1st grade, and they were just like, see, don't do that. They scared the shit out of him. See, look, because they tried to frame it like he was a good kid that never did it before, and he was one night he decided to party, and he did, the second a speckle touched his nostril, his heart exploded.
This is over for him.
He did a lot of cocaine.
Absolutely.
Now we know he did coke all the time.
Yeah.
And he just happen to do a shitload that night. And
party.
That's what happened.
His life was about to change.
Yeah.
Sure in the fuck changed.
So at this point, country goes nuts, so nuts that Congress passes new, stricter sentencing guidelines. This is when federal law becomes tight on cocaine. And the funny thing is this, because this had nothing to do with Len Bias, this has to do with violence, and because in the 80s were an incredibly violent time. American cities, the murder rates were doubling, tripling. It was crazy. And they're blaming it on crack. So they had the Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1986. Made the penalties for crack 100 times worse than powder cocaine.
Wow.
So basically, if you got caught with a gram of crack, you would get sentenced the same as if you got caught with 100 grams of powder cocaine.
That's where the stigma came from, that crackheads are just terrible people.
Exactly. Powder coke, okay, that's almost 4 ounces of powder cocaine, 100 grams. That's almost a quarter pound of powder coke. Do you know how much fucking coke a QP of coke is? That's a shitload of coke. That's a lot of fucking coke, man. That's if you had that, you would be like, oh, who's that guy selling coke to?
Right.
If you had a gram of crack, which is not a lot, you'd be like a crackhead's going to go smoke some crack.
It's crackhead in his Brillo pad.
Same thing.
Right.
Same equivalency. So that's keep that in mind, guys. And also, too, it made it so the police would only concentrate on crack dealers.
Yeah.
Why lock a guy up for when he's going to get out in a month? When you can lock him up, he'll get out in 5 years.
Right.
Fucking perfect.
He's going away for a long time.
Yeah, there was undercover officers going around that would go to coke dealers and would ask them to make them crack, and then they would arrest them for crack.
Unbelievable.
So that's what they were doing. Undercover officers were doing this left and right. There was lawyers fighting this. They were saying entrapments all over the place.
That's insane.
Because of this drug law, because they could do it now. And they were like, fuck it. Well,
I don't want your coke. Make me some crack.
Just make me some crack. Okay, now your sentence is that much more.
Unbelievable.
You can fuck off.
No doubt.
It's horrible. So, spring of 87, back to Willie Mays Aikens. He's forced to turn down a $500,000 a year contract from Yakult of the Japanese League because the Japanese government will not let him enter the country because of his prior cocaine conviction.
Wow.
So he is fucking furious, as you can imagine.
Absolutely.
He's probably just snorting. He's probably doing Scarface level mountains of just burying his head in
He's got it in his eyebrows.
It's in his eyebrows, bro. It's in his hair. It's in his ears. He's picking it out with a Q-tip. It's ridiculous because he's got it. That would kill me.
Absolutely.
I would fucking hate Japan forever.
I lost $500,000 because of this shit.
Yeah, it's insane.
Or do you look at it? But he's not a clean person. As a clean person, you go, this cost me something. I need to clean up my act, and I need to live better.
But this is from the past. He's like, they fucked me on that one.
Yeah.
And this is why he's blaming everybody on
Absolutely.
this. He's going to keep blaming people.
Of course.
Because in Japan, he said the walls are, it's a lot smaller parks there.
Yeah.
He's like, I could have destroyed shit. He said, I would have been making $3 million a year over there. Because I would
endorsements and all that shit.
He said I would have been a monster. And he would have been a monster over there. He would have been huge. So that's like, remember Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck?
Yeah.
Washed up guy goes over there and he's a good fucking hitter because he's bigger and stronger. So sorry, Japan. We have Japanese listeners now.
There are no. If you're 250 pounds, there you're a sumo wrestler.
You are, man. So at this point, they don't sign him. He's pissed off. Whatever he does causes him to, by June 20th, 1987, develop a severe case of hepatitis.
Wow.
So now he's got hepatitis. Like, he's having a bad fucking year.
Yeah.
He's playing for still playing for the Mexican Angels in '87. His season's over now because he's got hepatitis. Yeah. I don't know if it was C, because C he would have been fucked worse, but I think it was like a B or an A or whatever you can fucking knock out
hepatitis.
With some shit. 88, he has his first daughter. That's good. That's nice. The second comes in 89 with different women. He's got a woman named Maria. He has his first daughter named Lucia with, or Lucilia or some shit like that, after his mom, Lucilia. Yeah. And then he has another daughter with a woman named Sarah, one named Sarita, and then another one, Nicole, and then Sarita. Daughter.
He's slanging that dick in the Mexican chicks.
Dude, this guy, second to coke. I'm not even second.
Yeah.
Pussy comes before cocaine for this guy. Yeah. He's fucking everything.
Well, in America, how about that? In America, he played 6 seasons in the majors here.
He was doing well.
Never got anybody pregnant.
No.
That's how fertile Mexican girls are. You go down there and squeeze a tit and they're pregnant.
He's going crazy with the coke and whores in Mexico.
Jesus.
Because now in the U.S., like, he had to at least put on a front because the press would see him and shit out. Yeah. Mexico, it's the Wild West. Yeah, he can do anything he wants. He doesn't get. No one cares.
Nobody talks.
Hey, there's Willie at the brothel. They don't give a shit. I mean, that's how it
My
was,
wife's
man.
Spanish, and I've fucked her twice, and we have 2 kids. Like, I wear a rubber to ask her about her day. Like, I'm not having any more children. It's over.
Jimmy. They're like Mogwai.
Anyway, go.
Touch of water. They're shooting out. So September 10th, 1988, the Mazatlan Deers, which is a team down there that he's going to play winter ball for.
All right.
They cut Aikens from their winter ball team. The manager, Cananea Reyes, says, quote, Aikens, I assume this is translated because it's such a, I cannot say it in Spanish, says, quote, Aikens isn't a complete player, and only those who demonstrate great abilities will play on this team.
Wow.
So he's saying he's a shit player.
You aren't the
Yankees,
though, bro.
No.
You're the Deers.
Might have something to do with his lifestyle, because let me give you a snippet. This is a snippet from his book here about being in Mexico, a story from his book about playing in Mexico. He was playing for Mazatlan, and he was on the road, one of the road trips to a place named Culiacan, which was considered considered a rough and tumble kind of place back then.
That's where the fucking cartels are now.
Yeah, and then it was also shaky, right? So he said he always carried marijuana and cocaine with him, and he wore his sunglasses 24 hours a day. He's that guy now. Yeah. He's got like a suitcase with weed and coke in it. He's like Hunter S. Thompson in Fear and Loathing, except huge and black.
Yeah.
And so he said this particular night he got high alone after the game, and then he went to a whorehouse with his teammates, as one is wont to do. You have to do that. So takes a hooker home with him.
Oh,
he just grabs a hooker, takes her home. She had a fur coat and a bra and panties. That's what she was wearing, and high heels.
Oh, she sounds hot.
An interesting look for a nice lady. They get back to the room. He goes in the bathroom, gets high again. This is how much he's getting high. He comes out. She's naked. She says, and this is all in Spanish, but she says $200, and he says that's a little expensive, but what the fuck, basically. Gets the money, puts the money out on the table for her, goes back in the bathroom to get high again.
Jesus.
Yeah, it just comes back out, and she's gone. She's gone, money's gone. She left her bra there or something, but like, she's gone, money's gone. He's like, shit. He starts drinking tequila, looking out at the city, just like, that sucks.
With a limp coke dick.
Limp coke dick. Little while goes by, knock at the door. He's like, fuck you. Knock again. They keep knocking. He gets up, goes and opens it. 2 guns in his face.
Oh, no.
Problems. This guy comes in, and it's the girl's pimp, obviously. And he's saying, where's the girl? He thinks that he's looking around thinking that he's holding the girl hostage or something. He's like, dude, I didn't do shit. Look at the bed. It's undisturbed.
She took my money and dipped.
She took my money. I don't have anything. And the guy's not believing him. And then he's looking at him, and the guy says, what's your name? And he says, Willie. And he's like, okay. And he goes, I never touched the girl, man. And the guy says, forget about the girl. Forget about the girl. Come here a minute. Have a drink. And he pours a drink. They pour drinks. And he says, are you Willie Mays Aikens? And he says, yes, I am. And this is the best thing I've ever heard. Because this is a Mexican pimp who's trying to track down a scantily clad hooker in a shitty Mexico
rogue hooker.
House. A rogue hooker in a Mexico flop house. When people open doors, he sticks guns in their face. He sits him down, and this is translated, obviously, because the way it is can only be in another language, and it's wonderful. And the man looked at him and said, how is it that you arrived to be here?
I was expecting him to say, can you get me tickets?
No, it really was just like, shit, I don't know, man. Like, he's like, fuck, really? Like, he's got his gun.
Are you Willie Mays Aikens?
Yeah.
How did you get in this situation?
Happen, yeah. So he goes to Port St. Lucie, Florida to play for some senior league baseball team. They finish in last place at some shit league down there. Didn't Chad Curtis try to do some shit like that? I think so.
My wife's family lives down there. It's a nice little place, but it's
crazy for baseball down there.
It's not fucking. It's no metropolis.
No. So basically, he goes down. He's still playing in Mexico. He's signed to the Jalisco Charros for '88, who is owned by Charo.
Jalisco.
I don't care. It's owned by Charo, I assume.
Go on.
He hits .352 down there. The Brits will back me up. UK, they don't play that shit.
Fuck
either.
That Spanish.
They don't play that shit. Philip Mignon, motherfucker. They don't care. They love it. So this team's whole team is suspended. The league suspends the team. Not the players, the team.
They're like the Black Sox.
They're not allowed to have a team. Not the players on the team. They just can't have it. It's just the uniforms are suspended.
Port St. Lucie.
So he's drafted by the Leon Bravos.
Wow,
he's
for them
still
for a
playing.
couple
of years. Yeah, they're owned by, I assume, Johnny Bravo, Greg Brady's alter ego. He hits .358 in 1990 down there. He's still ripping it the fuck up, man. It's crazy. He plays for the Monterrey Industriales and hits .299 in 91. That's it for him. After the 91 season, even his Mexican career's over.
Yeah.
He's done with baseball at this point.
I imagine every time he's up at bat, that question is going through his head. How is it you have arrived to be here?
How is it that you have arrived to be here? That should be everybody's...
He said it in like a sultry voice, too.
That's the new segment on the show. At whatever the breaking point is of this guy's, he's hit the peak of rock bottom, it's how is it that you have arrived to be here? It's going to be said in a Spanish accent. I'm going to make up just like I made up the fucking, in their own words, I'm going to do a music for it, a little Spanish music, and we're going to have
something with chickens in the background.
How is it that you have come to arrive here? Every time. From now on. New segment. Rock bottom.
I love it.
So this is rock bottom here. He moves back, 1992, he moves back to Kansas City. He's living in a condo on Locust Street, it's called. He's got some money in the bank still. He's got a few $100,000 in the bank. So, he's doing a shitload of coke.
Yeah.
He is smoking crack at amazing levels at this point. He fucking like Popeye with spinach, just in the crack pipe constantly, ripping it up. He said that they just sit inside all day. His friends would come over and they'd come in and out and get high. And it was like a crack house, like a flop house, basically. It's womanizing even more out of control.
Wow.
All he cared about
banging
was the
crack
pipe.
whores.
Here's in their own words on crack. He's got a good thing of how much Jimmie, he loves crack. He likes it. I've never seen someone love crack so much, by the way.
But have you seen, it's so ugly. It's so gross.
Bad. By the way,
it's a yellow rock. It's so gross.
Ever smelled it? It's the worst
terrible.
Smelling thing ever.
It's vile shit.
How many times do you think he paid off the federales in Mexico?
How
many times do you think he got arrested for beating up a hooker or doing a bunch of coke and ripping up a place or doing some crazy shit?
It's why
he paid him off with a couple $100.
That question is why he sat and poured a glass of tequila when $200 went missing.
It's the same
because
thing,
he's just like, well, it's just another day.
It happens. It's the same reason why people will go to the West.
Yeah.
They burned all their bridges. They had nowhere else to fucking go. They were either the brave or the fucked. It was one of the two. So, on crack, in their own words, he says, quote, I don't know if I can describe it. There's a sensation that comes from it. When you're hitting that pipe and you inhale it and you blow it out, it's a tremendous feeling. Other things in your life are not as important. There isn't anything more important than smoking the pipe.
Wow.
He loves crack. That's how food critics describe a delicious, like a delicious, perfecly cooked steak.
Yeah.
I loved it.
That statement, he should be saying that about his children.
Yeah, his children. I don't give a shit if he says it about a fucking model airplane collection. I don't care. Doesn't fucking matter. Not crack, please.
Unbelievable.
Early 1990, we're talking 1993 here. Has a beef with a girlfriend, one of his many, many, and these are drug girls. These are girls that come over, do a bunch of coke, and fuck him, and
terrible people.
They're a mess just as much as he's a mess. So I mean, imagine them when they get in fights and break up.
Yeah.
Imagine the mess.
I'm picturing just like Remember Dope Sick Love that you showed me?
My favorite.
They look just like those women.
Oh, God, yeah. Just, it's a guy, but in his apartment. That's all it is. Just fighting. He kicks her in the ass. She falls down.
I'm wandering around screaming Dominic.
If you have HBO Go, watch Dope Sick Love. It's on the documentary thing. It's the greatest documentary ever.
It's my favorite thing that James has given me.
It's amazing. So,
was his name Dominic?
Who?
The boy in it? Wasn't it Dominic?
No.
Was he wander around the New York screaming?
Sebastian. Oh, it's amazing.
Anyway, watch the movie. Go on.
Crackheads living on the street as couples. It's awesome, and it's real.
It's fantastic.
It's very real. It's extremely real. So this girlfriend, when she leaves, threatens to have a drug dealer kill him that she knows. So he goes out and buys a shotgun just to keep in the house. Just to have in case drug dealers try to come kill him.
How is it that you have arrived to be here?
How is it that you have arrived to be here? So, 1993, February of 1993, he's pulled over in a Kansas City suburb of Leawood. He has cocaine on him, obviously. Duh. He's charged with possession of cocaine, obviously. Duh. Says he's taking it to trial. He's not going to plead. Fuck you. I'm not going to. He's still denying everything. He thinks he can get out of everything.
Wow.
Just thinks
you aren't in baseball anymore, bro.
For that reason. So he thinks he can get out of it. He's fine. He said he's got $500,000 in the bank at this point. He loved his life. He was having a great time. Yeah. Smoked as much crack and was with as many women as he could possibly be with, was the way he described this era. So December of 1993, there's a woman named Ginger Locke who comes into the picture. This is in Kansas City.
L-O-C-K-E.
L-O-C-K-E. And she pulls into his driveway, or pulls up to his driveway. Willie's outside hanging out with one of his buddies.
Yep.
She pulls up and says, hey, can one of you guys give me directions? And he said, sure, I'm leaving anyway. Whatever, follow me and make this turn. Gets in the car, goes. She didn't make the turn, so he pulled into a gas station and was like, hey, you missed your turn. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. So he said, I'm Willie, by the way. Do you have a man? Because he's trying to pick her up, obviously. He's like, do you have a man? She said, sort of, but, whatever. He said, well, here's my number. Wrote it down, gave it to her. Your turn's back there. I'll catch you later. I'm Willie Mays Aikens.
Right.
I picture him like Willie Mays Hayes, even though at this point he's 315 pounds. He's half fucking bald.
Coked up,
he's missing teeth.
Up.
He's cracked out of his skull. He's a disaster at this point. Now, of this woman, he says, quote, in their own words, quote, I was basically trying to get into her pants. She wasn't all that good looking either, but at the time, all the girls were good looking to me. Doesn't give a fuck. He's just trying to bang this broad, right? So Locke calls him 4 times over the next couple weeks, gives him her beeper numbers, and they're building a rapport here. Just going back and forth, just saying hello. Aikens pages her one day just to say what's up. She said that she's upset because one of her friends got her car impounded because she got pulled over and had some stuff in the car. So Willie says, oh, you're into that stuff? Or, are you into that? Or blah, blah, blah. Beats around to the subject of, are you cool, basically?
What was in the car?
Are we going to do coke and fuck, basically? Right. So she said, yes, I'm very much into that.
Oh, boy.
And he said, well, I can get you as much of that as you need anytime. You hit me up. Willie Mays motherfucking Aikens, right?
He should have said to her when she called him back, how is it you have arrived to be here?
How is it that you have arrived to be here? Let me know.
Because she has hit rock bottom. She's with the fucking crackhead.
So January 18th, 1994, she goes over to his apartment, or his house, his condo, and she wants to buy an eighth of coke. She wants to buy an 8-ball.
Yeah.
She's looking for whatever. So Aikens pulls a bag out of his sock, tosses it to her. He's got it in his sock, for Christ's sake. So he's got coke. He said, do you want it hard or soft? Well, powder, you want rock. Right. What do you want, right? She said, this is her claim, by the way. She says hard. So she claimed he brought out the baking soda and
up the crack,
got the beaker and got the crack going and fucking whatever. So had it ready to go. Took the Pyrex out and was doing his thing.
Yeesh.
So he said, I got to do in their own words again because it's amazing. Quote, she told me she would give me some. It was all about getting stoned and getting some. Jesus. So he said, she's saying, I'm going to fuck you. And he's like, cool, whatever. I'll make up the crack. I'll make up some crack, right? So some time goes by. January, she asks him for more coke. This goes by. He gets her some more. Same thing goes on again. January, end of the month, she asks for more than he has on him. So he's like, shit, tell you what, drive me to my dealer's house and we'll go get it. So he goes and gets it. Gets her 36.
This Locke is a bitch.
Gets her 36 grams of coke, right? Not at this point, I'm sorry. He goes to the house, makes the deal. She gives him the money. He goes in, gets her the coke, right? At this point, she'd bought 36 grams of crack from him in total at this point.
All combined.
Okay? So, the next time, 36, keep that number in mind, because it's not 50 grams.
Right.
It's only 36 grams.
Right.
So, the next time this comes around, she comes up with $1,200, and she says she wants an ounce, which is 28 grams, people. So, she said, so they went and bought it, but it was powder. He went to the dealer's house, came out with powder. She said, you told me you were getting me crack. What the fuck? And he tried to go back in and exchange it like it's a fucking...
Like it's cold.
Like you bought a shirt by accident. Oh, I got the wrong size shoe. Can I exchange it? No, you got coke.
You got a 9.5. This one's a little tight.
Get out of here, dummy. Get the fuck out of my yard. So they go back to his house and they cook it up. He cooks it up for her, gives it to her. He claims that they had to stop at this point and go get a beaker and or go get a Pyrex and go do the whole thing. But I don't know. I think he probably had it in his house. But
I feel like he did.
I feel like he did. So, March 1st, 1994, he's arrested for selling crack to an undercover officer. Old Ginger Locke is a cop.
This bitch.
She's a cop, obviously, and the reason why she needed more and 36 wasn't enough is because 50
that didn't
grams...
put him around the corner.
50 grams gets you a mandatory 10 years. That's
Ouch.
50 gets you 10 years.
Ouch.
So she said, not enough time yet.
Yes.
Let me entrap him further by telling him I wanted the crack, right? Unreal. So,
Did she ever fuck him?
He lived, no.
Oh.
He also lived within 1,000 feet of a school, so she tacked that shit onto there.
Oh, no.
The shotgun that he bought, that was just
no,
in
he's
his
a felon.
house. In his house, he got charged with having a weapon
and drugs.
in a drug deal.
Oh, that's gonna.
And it wasn't anywhere. It wasn't even in the room.
No.
It was in the house, so it's a weapon. That's a 5-year mandatory
Wow.
on that one, too. So now he's looking at 15 mandatory at this point. Unreal. It's just crazy. So in the midst of all this, on March 18th, he's got there's a mistrial for his cocaine possession that he got pulled over for in February of 93 because one juror refused to vote guilty. There was a mistrial.
Somebody won some money on a Royals game.
Somebody was like, no, 1980s, my favorite memory ever. That 10th inning walk-off single was the greatest thing I ever saw. God damn it. So Assistant DA Sarah Welch said she would try the case again. She wants Willie Mays Aikens, but she doesn't because this whole thing's going on. And on March 26, 1994, he's indicted in federal court on 5 counts of selling crack and 1 count of using a gun in a drug deal. Like I said, 5-year mandatory for that. You'd think maybe he's humbled. He's not going to be an idiot, right?
No.
You would imagine, right?
I'm a baseball player.
No. First of all, here's his quote on this. This is beautiful. This is one of my top 3 in the crime and sports in their own words here. Quote, in their own words, I was living in a world of drugs. I thought I was good with the ladies. I didn't know what I looked like because I didn't look in mirrors. I used them to cut up coke.
Holy shit.
Amazing.
The only time I've ever seen my reflection is when it's clean.
I don't know, man. There's
and
coke
by then
on
I'm
that
fucked up.
So you think he's going to try and stay clean while he's out on bond awaiting trial for this massive thing hanging over his head?
Of course he will.
Of course, right? Wrong. He tries to bribe a drug test administrator with $100.
$100 is going to clean up your pee? I don't think so, sir.
Submit a false sample. Charged with bribery on top of everything because he's a fucking idiot. So he's offered a deal at this point. 5 years if he wears a wiretap and buys drugs from his dealers. He refuses.
Oh, that a boy.
Willie's a stand-up guy.
Yeah, he is.
I like Willie for this. But he didn't do it to be a stand-up guy.
No.
It's the funny part. He did it
because he's scared of his dealer?
He thought he could beat it.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Because he's a fucking delusional idiot.
Yeah. Because then right before the trial, they offer him 9 years, and he doesn't have to cooperate at all.
Right.
Just 9 years, and we won't go to trial. He says, nope, not going to take that.
What?
Even though I have 15 mandatory and I sold crack to an undercover officer 4 separate times,
I'm gonna fight it.
All logged and on camera and everything else.
I'm going to beat it.
I'm going to fight it. That's what he said. He said, I had the mentality that I was going to get out of it just like I got out of everything else. Wow. This is the federal government, and this was a time when they didn't fuck around with
Willie,
this stuff.
they don't fuck around.
No. So on September 18th, 1994, he's convicted of 4 counts of distributing crack cocaine and 1 count of using a gun in a drug transaction. Shit out of luck, right? We come to December 12th, 1994.
Yep.
United States District Court Judge Dean Whipple says, quote, the thing that is so disappointing is that you were a young man that pulled yourself to prominence in professional sports and you trashed it. How sad. You had the skills to go down in history, and now your history will be all overshadowed by this. You, sir, may fuck off.
But I thank you, because that statement is our fucking mission statement.
That's
for
the
our
mission
podcast.
statement.
So
you
thank
blew it,
you.
asshole.
Yeah.
And you blew it, asshole, is basically that in a nutshell. Paraphrase, hey, dickhead, nice job.
You fucked up, yeah.
You fucked up. Fucked up to the tune of 20 years and 8 months in prison.
Oh, my God.
20 years and 8 months in prison because of the crack thing instead of the coke thing. He would, if it was powder cocaine, the same weight, he would have gotten 2.5 years.
Wow.
2.5, plus the gun, but 2.5.
Yeah.
But if it was...
That's brutal.
That's brutal. That is fucked up,
20
honestly.
years.
Yeah. This pisses me off, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
this that's
too steep.
And he even says, in their own words, quote, if she hadn't asked me to cook it up for her, I probably wouldn't have done that. If all she wanted was cocaine, she would have taken the powder and left, unquote.
If she didn't want directions, you would have never been in the situation in the
you
first
didn't try
place.
to fuck her.
Yeah.
You didn't give her your number, idiot. Well, she came to him on purpose because they were watching
Oh, okay,
him.
all right.
Because a former girlfriend tipped them off about
Told
him.
him
Probably
if
the
it's
one that he bought
if
the
it's a
shotgun
chick, he'll
over.
try to fuck her.
So total, he sold her about 2.2 ounces of cocaine. So yeah, that with 2.2 ounces of cocaine, he got sentenced the same as if he sold 15 pounds of powder cocaine.
Wow.
Pounds.
Wow.
European, that's 7 fucking kilos.
Yeah.
7
that's a
kilos
lot.
of cocaine. That is a shitload of cocaine. That's
And you're talking about
major,
ounces.
That's a huge distributor.
Yeah.
A kilo's 2.2 pounds. That's insane. I mean, that's so, yeah.
And that many ounces of
15
crack.
pounds. 16 ounces in a pound.
Right, but that many ounces
Wow.
of crack makes how much in a Ziploc baggie? Not high.
No.
Not
that's
high at all.
That's a lot of crack, though. Coke, 15 pounds.
Right, of coke.
Yeah.
But turning it into crack is so small.
It's even less Coke.
Yeah, right. And it makes nothing in a bag. And he's getting 20 years for a...
He's
not
getting
even
sentenced for partial baking powder.
Right.
That's the fucking thing we're talking about.
He's getting sentenced for Arm & Hammer.
Yeah, that's
unbelievable.
It's nuts. So, and he called it entrapment, obviously, because he said that we just got.
I'm still rooting on him.
So I mean, you feel bad for this fucking guy at this point because he's. I mean, good Lord. First of all, he's got 2 kids right now in Mexico.
Yeah.
He's fucking every whore here. He's got. I mean, they're a mess. His family. Who knows what his mom's doing now? His sister. Who, God, Jesus, what happened to his sister? Bad things if she saw her mother being a prostitute. Yeah. He's now in prison for all this time. At this point, the Royals still hadn't won a World Series in a while.
God.
I feel bad, Jimmy. I feel bad.
Sealy's vagina's a wizard sleeve.
For all these people.
I feel terrible.
Not nearly as bad as I feel for these fine people here. Yeah,
there are people named Willie Mays Aikens.
Now, he doesn't use the Mays himself.
He just goes
Willie
even
Aikens.
Still, Willie Aikens is not a common-ass name.
I feel bad for Willie Aikens, payroll associate at Chemonomics International in Upper Marlboro, Maryland.
I feel bad for him, too. He's a payroll associate.
I feel bad for Willie Aikens, a VP of operations at H&W Construction Company in Winchester, Virginia.
That sounds like a great gig.
Willie Aikens, building materials professional in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Or a coke dealer.
Willie Aikens, retired executive of the Boeing Company and a graduate of Columbia University.
That guy figured out life despite...
Willie Aikens, minor league hitting instructor with the
Oh, wow. My God.
Guess who? Guess what happens later? We'll save that.
All right. Go on.
I love it, Jimmy.
Yes.
Let's see here. While he's in prison now, he signs up for the mandatory, it's like a 60-day rehab stint, mandatory deal. Says it didn't do shit to help him, but he was bored. So he signed up for a 15-month program, then another 15-month program. Yeah. So he did a shitload of rehab, basically.
Helps the 20 years go by.
That's what it was. Yeah. He was like, what else do I do? And it looked good, and he was trying to get out. This whole time, too, there's a sad story from prison where he mentors this young kid in baseball, this young murderer.
Real quick. 15 months for one rehab stint, 15 more months for another. Had he only gotten convicted for just cocaine, he would have done more time in those 2 rehabs than in fucking prison.
In total.
Unbelievable.
That's insane. No, 30 months. That's what he would have got, 2.5 years if that was cocaine instead of crack. Nuts, right? He mentors this kid, his name is Ruben, he calls him, and for baseball, and the kid's going to get released in a year. He was a murderer, but he's a young kid. Thinks he's going to get his life on track.
This guy murdered people. He's going to get out.
He's helping him, and
this cat's selling a little bit of crack.
He's not actually, because some his roommate stabbed him to death for
Oh,
for
shit.
letting something get stolen while he was in the hole from your cell. Literally, so his cellmate stabbed him.
My yank mag got yanked. How dare you?
He's in prison now. While he's in prison, he's campaigning to Bill Clinton when he was in office. He's writing letters to George Bush,
trying to get pardons.
Yeah. Trying to be like, it's just the crack law. It's crazy. Mandatory minimums. This is fucked up. He's writing Congress. He's writing anybody he can. He's telling players are writing on his behalf. Hal McRae, Cal Ripken wrote a letter. Now, Cal Ripken, guys, if you don't know who Cal Ripken is like getting a letter from, I don't know. He's basically
from Martin Luther King.
He's not a real person in this country. He played the most game. He played over like 2,600 baseball games in a row. Never took a day off.
He's a machine.
He's a machine,
and he's clean as fuck.
Clean as a whistle.
Yeah.
He's known as it's like getting an endorsement from an actual apple pie, basically. Like an apple pie wrote a letter for you. It's ridiculous. So he wrote a letter to the pardon board saying, quote, "This man, Willie, who overcame poverty in childhood, who rose to fame as a professional athlete, who came so close to ruining his life with drugs," I think he came more than close, and has
20 years, Cal.
Yeah, and has now set his feet on the path to recovery, has paid a heavy price for his self-destructive behavior. Willie should not be required to pay such a high price. The crime involved here involved no violence against others, no damage to anyone but Aikens himself. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So thank you, Cal Ripken.
Cal left out the part that the man witnessed his mother getting banged by strange men. The man was beaten by Shack Daddy. The man was beaten.
It's horrible.
He's come through so much.
He had no shoes, Jimmy.
How do you not expect him to do a bit of coke?
He's going to do some cocaine. I mean, good God. Just to be like, life's better now.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thank God. No more Shack Daddy.
Oh, my God. So in March of 2008, Congress approves, now this happened in December, but it finally came down in March because they had time to get rid of it.
In 97?
In 2008.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
He's been in jail for 11 years.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Congress approves the new guidelines for drug sentencing and makes it retroactive. This gets rid of the whole crack to cocaine insanity 100 times over.
Opens up some prison bars.
It basically puts 19,000 people that are in federal prison
eligible for parole
in the line of parole or in the line of release at this point, because it would be retroactively whatever. So June 4th, he ends up, he gets his lawyer. They start the proceedings right away. There's people helping him because he's a famous case and all that. June 4th, 2008, he's released from federal prison in Jessup, Georgia. He has to undergo counseling and spend 90 to 100 days in a Kansas City halfway house, which who gives a shit at this point? I mean, what the fuck? Who cares?
He did 2 15-month stints in rehab. Yeah. 89, was it 90 days in a halfway house?
In a halfway house?
No, it said he had to do a halfway house.
Oh, he has to do 90 to 120 in a halfway house. Who gives a shit?
He can do that on his head.
11 and a half years. So after his release, he returns to Kansas City. Hal McRae gets him a job.
Oh, that's nice.
Doing construction, because that's all he could do at the time. Gets him a construction job. He's like digging manholes and shit like that. But doesn't seem to care. He seems to be happy to be out. He's covered in mud in this one picture. He's playing whatever. But, nice. Thank you, Hal McRae. Good job there. 2010. Now, Sarah is the woman he hooked up with in about 89.
Yeah.
Had his second daughter
Nicole.
with. And she stuck with him throughout.
Oh, that's sweet.
He gets
a happy
out.
Story.
They reunite. They're back together. They end up getting married in a couple of years, actually.
His first time married, too.
His first time married, actually. She has lupus at this point, so she's very ill. He, in January, I believe, or December of 2010, January 2011, she gives birth to a daughter. She's 42. They have another daughter.
Kid.
And he said he just wanted to, start from the beginning with a kid and see it all the way through and
have
not
some
be
semblance of normalcy.
Smoking crack and going to Mexico, even though they were raised there and all that shit. So it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So she has a kid. February 1st, 2000, he's hired as a hitting instructor. 2011. I'm sorry. Hired as a hitting instructor, minor league coach by the Royals.
Yeah.
Thank you, Royals. He's going to float around their minor league system, lower levels, rookie ball, and instruct them, give anti-drug speeches to incoming players.
Because he knows.
He's an example. I was in prison, guys. Let me tell you about some. So his daughter's born in 2011. His daughter. So there's your
that's the hitting instructor.
That's your hitting instructor.
Yeah.
It's actual Willie Mays.
It's actually him.
This is our first guy who has a LinkedIn page.
Right.
This is from LinkedIn here.
And it's him.
He's got a Facebook page. He's got a LinkedIn page. This motherfucker's a citizen right now,
So
guys.
we Googled him, and you end up finding him.
We don't
That's
know.
Awesome.
We might fuck up. We don't know yet, but let's see here. So we found him, actually, looking on LinkedIn, which was the first time that's ever happened.
He was a victim of his own Google search.
Yeah. So his child's born. He goes to spring training in Arizona, in Surprise, Arizona, with the Royals.
Yeah.
And he's going to go instruct some shit. He's there 3 days, and his wife has a stroke.
Oh, no.
Not good. He has to fly back to Kansas City and all that. Their team is totally cool with it. They're like, take as much time as you need, obviously. She had a stroke.
You've been through enough.
She's paralyzed on her right side.
Oh, Jesus.
So now he takes care of her. He's got a small child.
Yeah.
He's like 60 years old. He's got a small child and a paralyzed wife that he's taking care of here. I mean, this guy is
stricken with lupus.
Yeah, he's paying penance at
heavy
this point.
Heavy price.
He's paying a price here. Now, if you can get some. His book came out in 2012, May 1st, 2012. It's called Willie Mays Aikens, Safe at Home. Finally, somebody with a simple fucking title,
and also finally
convoluted bullshit title.
Finally, too, it's an accurate title.
Yeah.
Finally, Safe at Home.
Safe at Home. It's co-written by Gregory Jordan there,
but still with a fucking play on words.
Yeah, you know, they one of the two. I'll take 1 out of 2.
Yeah.
$25.95 in hardcover on Amazon if you want that.
How much?
$25.95 hardcover.
It's pretty solid.
It's a hardcover for that. I don't know, you probably get.
It's a real book.
Yeah, it's a real book. Put it on your shelf. So 2014, he starts working with this turnaround program, which is a part of Catholic Charities, and he said they helped him a lot when he came out. He's really religious now.
Oh, boy.
Really religious.
Oh, boy.
He goes around, makes speeches at churches and Christian high schools and shit like that. He's very religious. He gets when you hear him speak now, he'll tell you about cocaine, and then he'll veer it into a preach. He knows how to wrap a preach into anything, wrap a Bible verse or a God thing or something.
I did a lot of coke, but as they say in Philippians.
Let me tell you something, boys. Now, Jesus, the Lord got me through it. Now, but I mean, if anybody got through some shit, it's this guy. Now, here's the interesting thing. Remember his ring? His AL championship ring?
Oh, yeah.
Got stolen in 1980?
Yeah. That hunk of shit with no diamond.
Okay, so, with no diamond. They got no diamond. So, November 2014, Aikens is set to speak at a church. It's the Gashland.
Yeesh.
It sounds like a strip club in the Midwest.
Sounds like somewhere that Celia worked at.
Come to Indiana's worst strip club, Ashland. The worst girls.
Yeah, visible scar night, Wednesday night.
C-section scars all night long.
All raised scars all the time.
Fucking horrible. So basically, he's supposed to speak at this. It's the Gashland United Methodist Church. It's across from a pawn shop. Mm-hmm. That's an interesting strip mall.
Weird.
Right there, those two things in it. So there's this Reverend Laura Murphy. She's in charge of handing out the flyers for the event of Willie Mays Aikens coming to speak. She goes into this pawn shop. It's the American Pawn Shop. It's on North Oak Traffic Way in Kansas City. You guys stop in there and see them. So she goes there with the flyers, right? She hands it out. The guy picks it up, and they go, holy shit, we were just talking about this guy. This is the Willie Mays, the Royals guy,
Why were you
right?
talking about him?
They're like, why are you talking about him, right? So a few days later, they didn't say why. A few days later, a pawn shop employee comes into the church, hands Reverend Laura Murphy a business card and says, quote, my boss wants Willie to call him because we have his World Series ring. Wow. So she's like, what the hell, right? She gives it to Willie. Willie's like choked up. He's like, he never thought he'd see it again. He didn't thought it was wherever. I
just did 11 years in the pen, and I'm 5 years out of that shit. I'm now preaching. Oh, this is...
She said that he couldn't talk. He was so happy. She had to brace himself, right?
And that stuttering didn't help.
Yeah, so turns out in the early 80s, this championship ring was sold to the pawn shop, the American pawn shop. The owner, Phil Bolano, says that he doesn't traffic in stolen goods, but it hadn't been reported stolen. So, because he said, I never reported stolen.
Yeah.
Never was reported stolen. So he was told that it was acquired in a trade or a purchase or whatever. So he's like, people, whatever the fuck. So he said he never tried to sell it.
He's like, I'm just going to hang on to
He put
this
it in his
shit.
home in a cabinet, just kept it. And it's funny because he said Bolano, the owner of the pawn shop, he's a pawn shop guy.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the least sentimental person on the planet?
The most crooked sons of bitches on earth.
It's I'll buy your shit for 10% of what it's worth and sell it for 150% of what it's worth because I'm insane. Right. So he says, quote, I'm not.
These are desperate people that are my customers.
They're crackheads.
Right.
He said, quote, I'm not a collector of anything. I try to sell everything I have. I'm a pawnbroker. He'd sell you his 3 kids for the right price, this fucking idiot, probably. He says, so I don't keep anything. It's probably the only piece I've ever kept. Maybe I just figured someday he'd probably want it back.
That's nice.
That's nice. Not really, though.
Uh-oh.
Because he'd want it back for a price.
Oh, what a dick.
So
what a dick.
Aikens goes into the pawn shop, he has the business card, and he goes in there the next day because he got it at night.
You
he
have
goes,
my ring? I'd love
he's
to
like,
have
you got,
it.
you know, you got my ring. Oh my God! And the guy says, I got it. $2,500.
I knew it.
$2,500.
Oh, what a dirtbag.
So Bolano tells him, hey, that's what I have in it. Which,
no, you don't.
No, you don't. So Aikens says, I don't have $2,500.
I watch Pawn Stars, you son of a bitch.
I'm a minor league hitting instructor. I make like $32,000 a year, and I speak at churches. Right. I'm not rolling in dough here, you know. So Bolano said, well, I don't have the ring on the premises anyway, so whatever. It's still at my house, so we'll work something out. So poor Aikens leaves without his ring. He leaves distraught. He tells his friend, there's a woman named Kim Accurso, who used to watch his German Shepherd when he'd go to spring training. She'd watch his dog, and she had a farm. The dog would go run around on the farm. So whatever. So Kim Accurso, the German Shepherd watcher here, hears from Willie the whole tale of how this goes down. Yeah. And so she asks him about the church, does a little slide thing, gets the name of it, finds the church, goes across the street, goes to the pawn shop, does a little slick thing, and gets it back. Pays less than, didn't pay $2,500. Good. Gave Bolano the sob story. Yeah. Who knows, this lady probably put on some, oh, please, blah, blah, blah. If you can soften a pawn shop owner's heart, you've done something. That's the hardest man
She's
in America.
Awesome.
Yeah,
she melted the ice.
Never mind gangsters, pawn shop owners will tell you to go fuck yourself. So Bolano, the owner there, said, quote, I took less than I had in it, actually. She got a good deal.
Good for her. Good for him.
You, asshole,
good for her. He's still got money out of it. Let's not play.
That money was long gone from 25, 30 years ago.
It's still a good...
Almost 35 years ago.
There's no way he paid more than $100 for that thing.
It's a crackhead.
Yeah.
He probably said, I don't even know if it's real, and kept it. So Accurso invites Willie to Christmas Eve dinner with her family in 2014.
Very nice.
And gives it to him.
Yeah.
And then does a whole nice thing, and he gets the ring back, and he's like, oh my God. And it's an amazingly sweet, kind moment that we normally don't do here on this show. And I have to say, guys, I am going to do something, because we had a happy ending. This man turned his life around, and he got it together, and he's trying his hardest, and he's paying for his difficulties.
Reunited with this championship ring.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry about this happy ending, because we pride ourselves on giving you an irredeemable scumbag every week. And I promise you, because last week, too, we felt bad for this Randy Lanier guy. I promise you next week, there will be a guy that you can hate to your grave, that you'll want to be put in a cell with Tom Paine and a dish towel.
There's still people that are going to hate this man.
They'll hate him, but we'll find you a rapist or something really hateable next week. Somebody like, killed his girlfriend for no reason. We'll find you something good.
He resorted to God.
This is a great story,
yeah.
But I just feel bad it's ending happily. I know people want to end with, that piece of shit.
Happily, though.
Yeah.
He's making $32,000.
Happily, as it could have ended from being in federal prison early.
He should have a nice nest egg, that's for sure.
Oof, poor bastard. So, if you want to see, he's been all around, too. He's at, the signings aren't at great places, too. He does a book signing at a place called Jess and Jim's Restaurant. Doesn't sound like a big venue exactly. It's at 517 East 135th Street in Kansas City, if you're around
Sounds like
there.
It's got great ham and eggs.
I bet it does. Yeah. So, it said on the thing, signing his new book and visiting with customers. It's coming around. Hey, guys.
He'll come top off your coffee.
Got any cocaine? I mean, want to sign your book signed?
Is that cocaine? Oh, it's just Splenda.
Okay. Well, we'll just sign your book then. So there was a Willie Mays Aikens game-used bat on eBay. It was it's on there right now. It's got time left on eBay. It's a Louisville Slugger model P72 125, and it's only $29.99. Buy it now.
How about that?
If you like Willie and you feel bad for him, buy his bat. It won't help him any, but he'll have a bat.
You can get one of those police substances that you spray on it and try to find the coke.
And you can fight him off if he ever changes his mind, goes back to coke, and tries to rob your house. It's funny. The listing says, a great find for any Willie Mays fan. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's a different person, you fucking moron. And,
that's hilarious. $29. It ain't the real Willie Mays,
one of his bats sold for $54.28 in some Kansas City Historical Society auction thing. There were 6 bidders on it, March 6, 2016.
That's decent.
So right now, he's currently the minor league hitting instructor for the Royals. They won the World Series, so he's got a ring now happening. He's doing just fine.
Doing well. It's a lower level championship ring. But it's a championship ring.
He's got I bet they gave him a nice one.
I bet
they
you're
feel
right.
bad for him. He almost got him one in 80, so they'll get a pat on the ass.
We'll give you the actual one.
Yeah. No, fuck, man. So this poor bastard. So here he is. He's doing better.
Yep.
He's got a stroked out, half paralyzed wife and a little girl and 2 older daughters who feel kind of lukewarm about him because he was a terrible father, and turning it around now isn't exactly going to sweeten everything for him. So,
one of the very few that we've covered that has the ability to listen to this.
Absolutely. Has the ability, and you're the first man that we're not saying fuck off, we hate you.
Right.
We don't hope you get stabbed in prison.
No.
We hope you live out your life in a nice fashion, and please don't smoke any more crack.
And if he were to come over to your house for dinner on Christmas, he would have a great grace to say.
Would. And I take that back. If you're going to smoke crack, do it big.
Yeah.
Go big. Big enough to where we can do a part 2. I mean, rampage, plow your car through just a lot of a parade or like at one of those like hipster food festivals, just plow your car right through it, man. Nope, just have them flying off like you're playing Grand Theft Auto. Just plump. Do that for me if you want to smoke crack again. Otherwise, stay off.
Panini stuck to your windshield.
Absolutely. So that's it. That is Mr. Willie Mays Aikens. What a trip he was.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for checking that out.
Yeah.
I want to remind you again, guys. Don't mean to strong arm you, but iTunes reviews, please.
They're so huge.
You can give us a few bucks on Patreon if you want. There's rewards and stuff. But like I said, we don't want your money. We want sponsors' money.
That's what we want.
More reviews, closer we are to sponsors.
Yeah.
So to get us more money, to get us note cards and more figurines of retired sports criminals that Frankie can chew.
Yes.
So thank you guys.
I want a Willie Mays Aikens.
I do too.
That would be awesome.
Goodness. Holy shit.
Do they make them? We'll have to Google that.
I don't think so because he stopped playing it. They might make them now. Because McFarlane's
like
makes all the retros.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to look up. I didn't see any, and I was on like page 22 of the Google search, so I was pretty deep.
Yeah.
I probably would have found it at some point. I was finding bats and restaurant appearances. But you never know, so give it a shot. But that's Willie Mays Aikens. We hope you enjoyed it, guys. And please, guys, spread the word. We beg you. You guys, I can't thank you guys enough. UK this week, the past week has gone insane. Like 5 times over our normal listenership in the UK. We can't thank you guys enough. Love having you.
Absolutely.
We can't be nice to UK. They don't like that. You like to be.
You sons of bitches.
You lousy bastards. We love you. You warm, pissed, Guinness drinking motherfuckers. Thank you so much. We love the shit out of you.
Cobblestone driving fucks.
We love you guys. But yeah, iTunes reviews, do that whole thing, 5 stars, and please spread the word. We have no network. No. We're not on a network. We're getting a lot of listeners now, but we still don't have a network. We still don't have anybody pushing for us. We don't have any of that shit. Right. We have us and you guys mainly, and it's all you guys. So thank you guys.
We do stand up on the side. That's all we do. We're not journalists.
We're not journalists.
And speaking of that,
we're comedians.
I'm at Stand Up Live in downtown Phoenix with Bert Kreischer, August 11th through the 13th.
Go see that.
And I was just in Bakersfield with Jessica Peluso, and a bunch of people after the show were telling criminal athlete assholes with me. So thank you guys if you're listening.
Beautiful.
Everybody.
Thank you guys. Thanks for all the contact. Keep it coming. Social media. Let's do the social media. It's at Crime and Sports on Twitter. crimeandsports@gmail.com, facebook.com/crimeandsports. Jimmy, you want to hit him with yours?
At Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Whisman Sucks on Snapchat, and it's so fucking fun. I'm a 13-year-old girl.
I'm at Jimmie P is funny on whatever. You can find me and friend me on Facebook, do the whatever shit. So do that. Guys, thank you guys. Crime and Sports Movement.